We are live.
Hey. Welcome to News and Nonsense at Noon. Happy New Year, all of that good stuff. So we got
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. All right, this week we've got a lot to get through. The new Epstein files have dropped, and once again, we got some names on there. But is it about the names or is it about who's behind the Epstein files? We've also got ICE is going crazy, but can it happen over here? And more anti-immigration rhetoric is happening around the world. We're tired, but we're going to get into it. I'm Auntie AK, aka Queer Jamfi, aka the auntie of all the aunties in the world, and I'm here with.
I am Nana, aka the Black Fairy, aka Dark and Lovely.
And because, as you well know, the world is going to hell. No, literally, I've got to stop saying it's going to hell. We are in the pits, the depths of the hell basket, and because we're your favorite aunties, we thought what we need to do is go through all the news and nonsense out there, give you our take on it, and help you separate the wheat from the chaff, the sap from the crap, what you need to know from what you don't need to know. But first of all, Nana, what do they need to do?
Guys, you know what you need to do on entry. You should have booked the like button. Definitely do it now if you haven't already. Also, subscribe to our channel if you are not subscribed so you get notifications each time we go live. And sign up to our YouTube membership as well. We drop a new video there every week. So please sign up. I will put the link on the chat now.
Yes, please. And guys, just remember, as we navigate through the news and nonsense of the world, these are just our opinions. We are not experts. We're your favorite aunties. We are not experts. We are going through this and uncovering all of this together. If you want actual and factuals, ask TLC or Google it your damn selves. Thank you, please. Thank you. And you know what? Don't come for us, or we will come for you.
Oh, bless you guys. All right, while I try and find that link, let's do a quick roll call. I know people have not been used to us being away for so long. It has been a lot of weeks. So tell your friend to tell a friend who used to be in the chat with us that we are back every Sunday at noon. We have Ray is in the house. We have Yvonne with us. Thank you, Yvonne. We have Sora in the house as well. We have Shy Black Girl. We have Fashion for Crime in the house. We have Rochelle with us as well. Waving Cat Designs. Hello. And hello on Instagram as well.
Hello, everybody. I've got to get used to Sundays. I'm a little bit tired. But to be fair, I was awake early, finishing the document that we read from. And I was watching a lot of Jada Kiss. I don't know what's happening. I'm getting myself amped.
Oh, what, their pod?
No. The Locks versus Dipset, recapping on that. Fabulous.
You love that, don't you?
It's my motivation. It's about being ready, preparing, and being ready. Don't take shit for granted. That's my inspiration going forward.
That was a phenomenal lesson in that as well. And yes, it is. It's the first of the month.
Oh, it is. It is the 1st of February. We back, baby. See, it's nice and neat and tidy. We started on the 1st of February. We will never forget the day we returned for 2026.
Hey, Christian Jane. Hey. Oh, wowzers.
All right. We got a lot to get through as usual.
Yes.
And try to do it in a nice tight time. And first story up, as you guys well have known, woo. Millions and millions. It's so weird. Millions of Epstein files have been released by the US government over the past couple of days. The US Department of Justice, as the DOJ, has released millions of documents on, sorry, the page is not wide open, linked to the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein following a law passed last year requiring full disclosure. The release includes emails, images, videos, and investigative records, renewing scrutiny of powerful figures previously associated with Epstein. Now, the big news is that you've got the man formerly known as Prince Andrew on there doing some wild shit. You've got Trump accused of some heinous shit. You've got more footage of Epstein doing weirdness in the kitchen. But you've also got hip hop on the dock. And there's a lot of people that we've got to get through. So there's a lot of clips, a lot of people talking about it. I'm going to start with the man formerly known as Prince Andrew because, or do you want to go into hip hop first? I don't know. What, Nana, where do you want to go?
Let's start with Jay-Z and Pusha T.
So Jay-Z, Pusha T, and Jamie Foxx has been mentioned. I'm gonna let me line it up. Just give you a little overview thoughts, Nana, and then I'll come back. Let me get the video up.
Okay, so I've seen the actual notes on Jay-Z and Pusha T from the files. Jay-Z and Harvey Weinstein, that has been a thing for a while. So people knew that these two used to run together. And then obviously we know with Jay-Z's affiliation with R. Kelly as well. So he's kind of been adjacent to these dodgy spaces of people that are word folks. But having an FBI tip-off literally named that they were basically kidnapped and were in the room when they woke up to themselves with Harvey Weinstein and Jay-Z, I was not expecting that Jay-Z's name was going to appear in the Epstein files like that. But Pusha T, for me, he took the biscuit, because I would never think Pusha T, Epstein files was ever going to correlate together. I just thought of him way more highly. Now, I didn't put him on a pedestal, but I didn't think he was in those dodgy circles in any way, shape, or form.
I suppose we have to definitely say allegedly, and we have to make a distinction, I suppose, as I think I've seen a few other places make a distinction that these are tip-offs, not actually FBI related findings. They're not on the actual documents. These are listed tip-offs, so they haven't been investigated. They haven't. Well, that's what.
No, from what I could tell, this woman that has done these tip-offs is also considered an Epstein victim. That is, so her claims in that way are legitimate. So also, this is a thing is to be discussed, that if she is claimed to be a victim, then why are you not investigating these men that these victims also say were in rooms with them, or that they allege to have done something to them? Because there's a lot of them that most of the victims say that they were with other men as well as Epstein, and none of the other men have been looked into. And that's the problem, because you're saying she's an Epstein victim, but what about the other people?
I mean, it's fair. It's just the legal, how we speak about it, because so far other people are saying like, okay, there's a difference between the tip-off conversation and the actual files. I don't know, because I haven't had a chance to go through it myself. So that it's good that you're clarifying, and if these are the things to be discussed, how do we navigate what's absolutely written in gold sand and legally that this is what's happened? Do you know what I mean? And how many of these? Yeah, basically that's all I'm asking. So Rob Markman, I think his name is. He, to be fair, in research, I haven't watched all of this through. Oh shit! Sorry, carry on talking. I closed it by mistake.
Okay, all right. I'll have, so Jason Beatrice says that Eminem visited the Epstein Islands, and also says celebrities visiting Epstein Island don't mean nothing. Okay, if you say so. And Serena says, so random with Pusha T. I don't care about Democrats and Republicans, Jason. Maybe you're watching the wrong live, if that's what you want to get into.
What is that?
He's saying that there's more Democrats in those files than Republicans.
It doesn't matter. It's whoever's in the files. It doesn't matter who, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. That's just to have you divided and have you distracted and think it's a political game. It's not. It's rich, powerful men abusing young women and underage girls and boys.
Simple.
That doesn't matter, because also, as we will get into, as you know, with news and nonsense, the more you peel back the layers, Democrats, Republicans, Conservatives, Labour, all the same, just leaning differently for different financial gain, honestly. And so Rob Markman goes through a bit of this, and let's have a listen to what he's saying.
And as always, if you watch me and you know me, I'm going to treat this thing delicately. My first and foremost thing is these are serious crimes that are surrounding this whole Epstein situation. They're real victims, people dealing with real trauma. So we don't trivialize that, you know, and we don't make entertainment out of that. But we'll talk about it, because I think there's some truth here and there's some misconceptions, and maybe people purposely misunderstanding this, like convenient misconceptions for storylines and things like that. But first, I have to establish this. I've not been following the whole Epstein saga in a very detailed way. Of course, I know, how could you not? convicted of I probably know just as much as the average person. It's not my beat. It's not like I was reading all the paperwork, but obviously I see the headlines. I read some of the stories. Now, for those who are surrounding him physically, like people that you see in pictures or whatever, and for those of people who are named in the files, the presidents, the politicians, the stars, all those who are getting named in these files, and what the specific accusations on those individuals are, I haven't been paying a ton of attention neither. Like, we know that from these files being released in this level of transparency, I don't know. So I'll start there, right? I know like a headline level, some stories that I read, but I'm no expert in this matter. And that's just me setting the groundwork for when I come into this whole, if you do Google search, you don't see a ton from different like hard news sites, but there were headlines and there were reports that, reported that Jay-Z and Pusha T were named alongside Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein in these files. The truth is this. Okay, so what does that mean? The headline stemmed from an FBI crisis intake report, which stemmed from a 2019 FBI hotline call. So the FBI had a hotline, or has a hotline still currently, that's set up for victims to call and give tips, for crimes and things of that nature. So in 2019, somebody called this line. Anyone with information can call. And so as it relates to Jay-Z and Pusha, there are allegations made from one person, recorded and documented by the FBI, but with unverified information. Victim called, told the FBI their story. FBI documented it, and it's in the crisis intake report. Variety.com, I want to shout out the writer. Variety.com writer Jack Dunn wrote this in his story, and the link is in the description. It says mentions of the trio did not come from Epstein's personal records, nor reports corroborated by law enforcement. The trio that they're talking about is Weinstein, Jay-Z, and Pusha. So mentions of the trio did not come from Epstein's personal records. Out of those 3 million files, those pages, there's different types of documents, and some are from Epstein's personal records, emails, whatever. So mentions of the trio did not come from Epstein's personal records, nor reports corroborated by law enforcement. The two rappers and the disgraced Hollywood mogul were named in a tip to the FBI, which was archived as a part of the Epstein investigation. The tip itself does not imply these individuals were investigated, nor does it in any way imply guilt for the accusations posed. So simply somebody called in, and this is what they told.
Go any further? Then
it doesn't seem right.
It will go further, but yeah, you can stop here. We can discuss.
Yeah, because I was just thinking, where's he gonna go? If he hasn't actually been following the case, then he may not have anything else to kind of add to the situation as a source.
Well, I'm just saying, as reading that, just for some clarity for what they're saying, I think it's better articulated what I was saying, what I had seen people saying. And again, I haven't done anything further than that either. So it's just understanding that context. And this, what I was trying to say, is what he was saying. I don't know how far he's going to go into it. The other points say the alleged victim's claims, says the victim's claims, and then shares his opinion. So that's it. So
okay, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, no, that's basically is my point, is that everybody should be being investigated.
Yeah.
Like in that manner would make way more sense than to just have these files just put out and people's names. They should, if you're getting tip-offs, should you not be looking into each and every tip-off? Like, you've had enough time. That's the, it's like 7 years ago.
I think that's what's now getting, because there's so much we can go through. We got Andrew's dodgy pictures and things like that. So there's those type of things, and it seems like there's a lot of distortion and distraction from Trump, because he doesn't want, especially his story, to be exposed if this is true, whatever the case. But then you've got all these names coming up, and people are going to grab to the end of this because Rob Martman's a known hip hop reviewer, so he's going to pick up on the hip hop stories. Then, if you're a fan of Robin Leach and different presenters and politicians, got Bill Gates on there, you're going to hone in on that. So all this, but then what's not being what I don't understand is why are there how many million files?
Well, there's 3 million that was released in this lot, but they say that there are 3 million more
exactly
that they have decided it's not even worth us putting that out to the public.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like, how do you decide it's not even worth it? But also at the same time, you didn't want to put these out in the first place. Those are dodgy pictures of Prince Andrew. Like, is that woman conscious? What's going on? What is that scenario? He needs to be questioned. Like, this is all really odd. She looks like she is unconscious on the floor. What's happening? There's too many tip-offs anyway within the 3 million that they've released, talking about these parties with women and there being lots of abuse. And then there's images of abuse as well. Jeffrey weren't doing everything solo. Why is nobody else other than him and Ghislaine suffer? And he didn't even get, because we didn't get to trial. So he actually wasn't even punished for his crimes either. So come on now. Like, who's that man whose feet we can see in that picture? Who's he?
Sorry, exactly. I'm on mute. This is him reporting the Andrew stuff, but exactly that. To me, who collected all these? How have you got over 180,000 pictures, 2,000 videos? How have you got all of this and nothing's been done for all this time? That is a bigger picture. It's even forget releasing them now. Why? And it's not every single person who's named, tipped off, investigated. Let's just go through it. Let them clear their name. Let them say plausible, whatever the case is. This is not true. This is the evidence. I did not do it. Get yourself exonerated. Let's go through the facts and who is collecting all these files and what is going on and all the people that are involved. Yes, exactly as you're right. You're exactly right. Epstein wasn't operating alone. Ghislaine wasn't operating alone. There's a huge, disgusting network of filthy men and they're enabling women who let this happen for generations, decades, and time again. This is ridiculous. It doesn't matter.
It's almost like the number of names involved in this.
Yeah.
It seems like there's anybody that has managed to accumulate a modicum of large wealth seems to have touched this network of wealth sharing at some point. It's really the fact that even Elon is in there begging to go to a party where the dude is actually having to tell his assistant, look, deal with it. Like, make him go away. People were chomping at the bits to get to an island. Yeah. Nah, everybody's got to go. Like, everyone is in this. Bill Gates is, I mean, we've known because once he got his divorce, his wife was already saying that part of it was his affiliation to Epstein. And now we're getting context of what his affiliation to Epstein was. And it's like, this guy was providing you with prosies. That's probably light. That's why we're knowing that this is what was taking place. But what else was Bill Gates involved in?
Listen,
really? And Trump as well. What else were they involved in that now Trump is like Israel's bitch? Like, what do they have on all of these people?
We've long had Bill Gates on our enemy of progress list of his dabblings in Africa. And that's another thing. When they go to other countries, like Russell Simmons in Thailand, when they go to other countries when they haven't been, even let's just say you guys are all innocent of your accusations. You didn't do it. It's unfair. They're just trying to get you and take your billions down. Go to court, stand trial, and defend yourself. To have a fair trial, because what the hell? Then they go somewhere else, their crimes unchecked, their alleged crimes unchecked, and then in a vulnerable position, in a vulnerable country where people are vulnerable and doing their white savior nonsense and stuff like that. Bill Gates shouldn't be in Africa left to test on babies and pretend he's doing philanthropy. Suspicious of that all day long when your own country has got poverty in abundance, but you're not sorting out people over there, but you're turning to Africa. piss off out of Africa. I've been saying it. We've been saying it. And now look how he's been named. Apparently he had an STD, and then he had to put a prescription for his missus. All these little details. Go to court.
He has to. I mean, that in itself, I feel like, what's her name? Is she Melinda? If I was Melinda Gates, I've probably gone to her other surname, I would sue him over these details that have come through, that you had an STD, you were begging Epstein to somehow find you a dodgy doctor to give you some form of antibiotic that you would be able to administer to her so that she didn't even know she was taking it. I'm suing you.
Exactly.
I'm suing you on that alone. Like, I've already taken half of your wealth. I want more. I need compensation for what you was up to. But also, should that not be looked into in some type of criminal investigation as to what he was doing? Like, if Diddy can go down for basically solicitation, I feel like there's evidence here for Bill Gates to get something over or something. Like, and also, these are the things. It's like, we needed to have these exposed because these are people that have access to countries and are revered, and they're doing experiments when we know that they're sexual, they're deviants.
Yeah,
everybody needs to be flushed out. And Trump, all of the allegations, like in the last episode when I was talking about Sasha Riley, basically the story that he says is echoed with the 3 different women that mention Trump as well.
Yeah.
Same shit, same parties, same stuff that was going on is what Sasha was talking about. So are all of these people that don't know each other lying? And who are those children in that video that you were just playing?
Like the thing is,
their parents.
All of it. What is Epstein like? And it's the truth. It's the redaction. It's the redaction for me. I appreciate not showing the footage of the young girls. I appreciate that, not showing their faces. Let them come forward if they so want to. But everything else, all the redacted men, why are you hiding their faces? Why are they being hidden? Because I don't understand. Because it's evidence. It's there in your face. It's part of an investigation that supposedly why are you doing surveillance on people if you're not going to have an end goal? What's the end? Why have you got, again, I'm stuck on millions of files. It sounds dumb. Millions of files, millions. How long did it take to accumulate millions? What was your end goal? What are you waiting for? For them to die, for the deal to fall through, for them to not have so much power. And this is why they're all carrying favor, from buying out, paying for dead documentaries that are not doing well, to buying their way into political seats, having jobs that they're not qualified for, because the administration is like, okay, yeah, you can have a job doing this because once you pay off my presidential campaign, I'm going to have you in a role that you're absolutely unqualified for. Let me give you the overview of the what do you call it, Trump accusations. One sec.
Okay, all right. While you're getting that up, I'll get some of the comments from the chat. We have Maya says, although he's guilty, it seems to me they're using him as a scapegoat. Ian says the AI documentaries on this year are going to be crazy. Waving Cat Desire says it was gross. He was asking for antibiotics to give to his wife. Urbano says, I think Epstein thing is a humiliation ritual for the rich. They all have to participate to elevate what's going on. I'd be chilling, says our first Aunties live that I've caught. Hey, bro. KM Page says, my mother told me that Elon is a good man. The words jumped out of my mouth. Oh, hell no. He absolutely is not. Tibetical, I think that is, whatever. Yeah. Tibetical says, if you questioned me about some BS years ago, you better be sure because I'm suing you for whatever I can get. And Ty says Bill Gates is definitely a creep and up in all sorts of evil nonsense, but Melinda got a divorce and a massive payout to keep it all quiet, and then she's donated to many of the same evil schemes. I hear you. None of them are okay in this. Because none of them are okay, but she can talk on this shit realistically.
She won't. Yeah. If she won't. And she was up in Africa with her husband, so it was a Bill and Melinda
Jordan,
Gates Foundation.
Jordan Parker says having an STD is not a crime, and frankly, I feel like Bill Gates' personal physician,
you know what, millions of
give
pages,
him whatever he wanted. Strange.
How do you get to what does a million pages look like that's stacked up? How do you get to a million pages? Like I don't know.
I mean, going through all of his emails,
different. I'm going to get this as an overview, so you're going to hear something that we discussed before, but it's going to go into Trump's accusations.
Files also show that Epstein repeatedly took the fifth during a 2016 deposition when asked more than a dozen questions about former President Clinton.
Yep.
Among them, several about whether Mr. Clinton visited Epstein's private island and flew in his private plane. The former president has denied ever having visited the island. So has Elon Musk, yet the files contain at least 2 emails discussing just that. In one from the 24th of November 2012, Epstein writes, "How many people will you be for the heli to island?" Musk responded the next day that it would probably just be him and his then wife, adding, quote, "What day/night will be the wildest party on our island?" A year later, Musk wrote Epstein saying, quote, "We'll be in the BVI St. Bart's area over the holidays." BVI's British Virgin Islands. "Is there a good time to visit?" To which Epstein replied, "Always space for you." It's unclear if that or the other visit took place. Representatives for Musk did not immediately respond to a request for comment about the new emails. And Musk in 2019 told Vanity Fair, quote, "He tried repeatedly to get me to visit his island. I declined." And Musk, you'll recall, famously posted this during his beef with the president this year, quote, "Time to drop the really big bomb. Trump is in the Epstein files." Minutes later, he followed up with, quote, "Mark this post for the future. The truth will come out." And keeping him honest, that's kind of hard to do. He seems to have taken the post down along with the first one. Also in the files, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, who famously said he'd broken ties with Epstein in 2005, vowing to, quote, "never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again." The files, though, reveal Lutnick or his wife, Allison, were in touch with Epstein as recently as 2012. In an email from Allison Lutnick in November of that year, she writes, quote, "We are looking forward to visiting you," adding, "We are traveling on a yacht called Excellence, and I am CCing the captain." A spokesperson for the Commerce Department did not immediately respond to a request for comment. So a lot to talk about tonight. Starting us off, CNN Chief Legal Affairs Correspondent Paula Reed. She's been going through the documents all day. So what stands out to you from the documents you've reviewed so far?
So the document that really stands out at this point is this list of accusations against President Trump, because the FBI compiled this list last summer. And this is a lot of the kind of information that investigators gather when they're looking at whether charges should potentially be pursued. For example, they're looking at unverified tips. Some include secondhand information that came through a tip line. It appears the FBI followed up on some tips. At least one was found to be unverified. But this is the kind of information they collect, but do not usually make public if there are no charges brought in a case. Now, of course, President Trump has always denied any wrongdoing connected to Epstein, but there are a lot of questions that are raised here. First of all, why did the FBI make this list of accusations specifically relevant to President Trump, though President Bill Clinton was also mentioned in there? The document was also taken down at least twice today. Last time I checked, Anderson, it was back up. But this list of allegations will likely prompt more questions for the Justice Department and the White House, even though this release is, of course, part of an effort to try to tamp all this down.
Trump in the Epstein files. The Justice Department releasing millions of new pages of documents from the Epstein files, and among them is a list that Trump's own Justice Department compiled, his own Justice Department. This list details a list of sexual assault allegations related to the president. Now, this list was released this morning as part of this document dump, but then suddenly disappeared from the Justice Department's website. That was noticed, called out, that got posted again. The administration claims that that snafu was because the site got overloaded.
Whatever.
Now, many of the allegations appear to have come from unverified tips. Some are incredibly graphic and disgusting and upsetting, frankly. The files also today released included a complaint from a woman who accused Trump of raping her in 1994 when she was 13 years old. According to the complaint, the woman, identified as Jane Doe, claims, quote, Epstein was angry that Trump was the one to take Doe's virginity and then went on to rape Doe. That's just disgusting and depraved. It goes on in graphic detail. These descriptions do mirror the allegations that Jane Doe made in her 2016 lawsuit against Trump, a lawsuit that was eventually dropped. Now, at the time, Trump denied the allegations, his attorney telling Politico it is categorically untrue, it is completely frivolous, it is baseless, it is irresponsible. I won't even discuss the merits because it gives it credibility it doesn't deserve. And Trump's DOJ, again, stressing, quote, this production may include fake or falsely submitted images, documents, or videos, as everything that was sent to the FBI by the public was included in the production that is responsive to the act, referring to the act of Congress forcing them to release these files, of which this chunk they're releasing, of course, is a month after the deadline. And while Trump is not accused of any wrongdoing in relation to Epstein at this time, he has fought vehemently and obsessively against the release of the files, lashing out at reporters who have pressed him for a long, long time on why his Justice Department has been so slow to release anything.
I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. You just keep going on the Epstein files. And what the Epstein is a Democrat hoax. We have nothing to do with Epstein. The Democrats do. All of his friends were Democrats. When you talk about the Epstein hoax, it's just a hoax. The whole Epstein thing is a Democrat hoax.
Joining us now is Virginia Democratic Congressman James Walkinshaw, who sits on the House Oversight Committee. So, Congressman, the ranking Democrat on the Oversight Committee, Congressman Robert Garcia, released this blistering statement after the files were released, saying, quote, in part, we are demanding the names of Epstein's co-conspirators and the men and pedophiles who abused women and girls. Do you accept the government's explanation for the redactions they've made?
No, I don't. I mean, look, the Trump administration and the Department of Justice has slow-rolled this release at every turn. Today, they released 3 million of the 6 million documents we know they have. We know they have 6 million because they said it. They released 50% of the documents, and the 50% we have today are heavily, heavily redacted. So they continue to cover up the full truth that's in the file. So we're going to continue to push the Oversight Committee's investigation. Will continue throughout this Congress and into the next Congress, I suspect. We're not going to stop until we get the transparency that the survivors are demanding.
I mean, some of the claims in some of these files are I mean, pretty bizarre and don't sound very credible. In your view, should the general public, and what should the general public take away from these files? How are people supposed to know what's credible and what isn't?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fair. And, you know, there are a number of uncorroborated or perhaps unverified allegations against President Trump there. And I think what I would say is all of that deserves additional scrutiny. Some of them have been revealed publicly in the past and perhaps have limited credibility, but all of them should be explored. You know, the Oversight Committee in the coming weeks, we're going to be deposing Jeffrey Epstein's accountant, his attorneys, the attorneys for his estate. So we're going to continue to ask questions. And I think this release, although limited, not what the law requires, this release will provide information to guide our questioning as we move forward.
Among the materials that the Deputy Attorney General Blanche said were withheld from this release were files that would jeopardize an active federal investigation. Is it clear to you what investigative avenues remain at this point, or if there are any active federal investigations ongoing into this?
I have no insight into the active investigations that the Department of Justice might be engaged in. Obviously, we know President Trump has done what he has done repeatedly and directed the Department of Justice to investigate his political opponents or Democrats with respect to Epstein. I hope that's not the path they're doing. If there are real, legitimate investigations based on what they've learned in the files, those should proceed without any interference or involvement from President Trump.
And as we mentioned, the Deputy Attorney General Blanche said that unredacted files would be made available to lawmakers who coordinate with the Department of Justice. Is there a plan to do that? I mean, obviously, it's a lot of files. Is that even possible?
I know that Congressman Khanna and Massey have written a letter asking to review those unredacted files. I think the Democrats on the Oversight Committee and hopefully Republicans as well will be talking about how we can coordinate to review those unredacted files. I certainly want to understand what's been redacted and, more importantly, why.
Congressman James Walkinshaw, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
I think that's my biggest question. Why the redactions? And I read that, you know, the redactions are to protect victims. Victims haven't come forward, to protect victims in general, to protect workers who, I don't even think, I don't know, but to protect workers whose names might have come up, but they've nothing to do with the scenario, so they could get tarnished. It's so interesting navigating the law when so many laws are being broken every day by the establishment. And it's like, we're trying to, and this is what I think has people at a loss. It's like the laws are being broken by the rich and elite and the presidential and the governments every day, all day, every day, or what we know to be law. But yet, when it suits them, we've got to follow the letter of the law. We've got to ensure that this and this and this and this and this. I think you said something about you don't like them saying that what's verified and unverified. Explain.
No, what I don't like is news sources backing up theories of doubt when it's been years. Realistically, what they are doing is getting the public to then question that you would have 6 different people talking about events over decades and having the same stories. It's like that in itself is a corroboration that we should all be demanding should be investigated, whether it's Trump or anything else. And then you go on one level of this guy and loads of people again, and the cameras are there, verified. He was filming everything in all of his properties and his island of all of these people. So why was he doing that? That is generally what spies do. They document everything. And then we look at the state of the world, that there is one supreme power that nobody can talk about, that are able to bomb people, get people cancelled, and it isn't necessarily directed to white supremacy in one simple level.
Yeah.
So what does this country have on all the other countries that are allowing it to go against international law? And it has been stipulated that this one man that moved with all of the elites and governments was collecting data on them. We don't need to be rocket scientists to be able to see that they have enough evidence on a set of people that have amassed crazy amounts of power to enable one country to basically go carte blanche and kill people, take land, and nobody is stopping it. To be fair, America is funding it. Who's at the helm of America? Trump. Who has pictures with this man who people are saying is an agent? Trump. It's like, come on now, like it's annoying. It's akin to being able to kill 2 people in Minneapolis and tell us that they were domestic terrorists.
Yeah.
When we've seen the footage of what goes on, how can we be listening to folks who will openly lie when we have seen footage of what took place? And we should now expect them to unredact files and actually really tell us the truth. But the people in the comments that are like, there's no evidence. Honestly, you are stupid and you have the president that you deserve.
Honestly, I mean, I'm just going through some of the comments here. See, they just don't want to address the comments. I'm not sure, Tibetical, what we're not addressing. We're going to the comments. We have our show. We talk about what we want to talk about, and we come to you guys. You're saying something sensible. If you're not, then come out our comments, to be fair. What is the end goal? Is it to, yes, Serena 4875 says, yes, what is the end goal? Is it to arrest them, impeachment of Trump? What is the end goal? Because for me, get the whole establishment torn up. And I know it's not going to happen like that. We know that we're not going to be left with, what's it called? Not a hung parliament. There's a word when you don't have a government. That's not going to happen because the system is rotten from the core anyway. So it's not that, but it is at least let's get the people who are guilty arrested, put in jail, and given at least let us have some semblance of law and order of what that we've grown up abiding by. Most of us have been law-abiding citizens. Let the people who are controlling us, running us, be held to the same account. That's all I think at this point.
I mean, but also I would just hope that humans would not want people who moved with known pedophiles to be running countries at the base level. Should humans not just have that in common, that if we're not a part of these rings, you would not want a royal family who have actually had 2 members hang out with known pedophiles and be like, they are our royals. Prince Charles ain't no better than Andrew. We just don't have any evidence of Charles doing anything alongside Jimmy Savile. But when Jimmy Savile was held up, he had royal seals. He was calling him his best friend. It's very similar. These are 2 brothers known to hang out with what history says are the most prolific pedophiles. Come on now. That in itself, let's not kid ourselves. We need to remove these folks. But it's for the people. Why are we allowing them to rule us with such dodgy pasts and presents? Why is it like, oh no, but we must go, we must go along with this, all get caught up in Democrats. It's actually ridiculous. Democrats, Republicans, Conservatives, Labour, it's the same shit. They all move in the same places. They all drink together. They all party together. Don't be so stupid as a human. Like, use your flipping brains. You was given one for a reason.
Yeah. Let's get someone to come. None of your business says, I'm not going to lie, I can't care about the victims who honestly have not provided clarity or consistency. I'm putting out
about yourself.
Like, exactly. Care about how you're being governed. And I'd love you to think about your life and your existence and all the things you've been through and the people in your circle and your family members and all the people in your world, colleagues even, school teachers, school children, people that you come across in your life. And you think about how many of them will have been victims of some sort of crime and possibly sexual crime. And tell me how much autonomy and confidence and enthusiasm they have to find justice for themselves. So don't, like, you use, as Nana saying, use your common sense, find your empathy. And we know, let's give some clarity. We know there are people that make shit up. We know that possibly in some of the tips on these files, it's someone that's clout chasing. It's someone that just wants to contribute to the noise and waste FBI time. We know that. But in the majority, this has been decades and decades of narrative. There have been rumors. We say all rumors stems from some sort of truth. There have been so many rumors about Diddy's behavior before it was revealed in 2026. Diddy has been on the scene for about 30 years before it came to light. We have had rumors about Diddy's dodginess for years. It just has not been, it wasn't brought to trial and it wasn't revealed in the way. It came out now in 2025, 24, and 20, now whatever happens in 26. It took 30 years or so before it was revealed. So don't be stupid, don't be naive to think that just because it was years ago, it shouldn't be held accountable today. Because this is why we're in the rot today, because so much shit happened before and was not spoken about, or victims weren't believed in the beginning because powerful men kept that shit quiet. They paid each other off. They did backdoor deals. They kept that shit going in order to protect themselves. And now this is why we're here in a world that is literally lawless. So please use your empathy. Just don't be stupid.
It really is that simple that we have actually given power to a set of folks that are psychopaths. And I understand for so many people that participated in elections and voting, and their worldview gets distorted when they think outside of, fuck, we have been lied to. But if we just take January, what has taken place, and you think of, we watched video evidence of 2 people being killed from various different angles, and the establishment came out and basically told us lies about what we all saw. Pure fictitious lies. Now, if they can do that, and we're all here now, we've all seen it, how many lies do you think that they have told us that we didn't witness? Exactly. That there was no video evidence, that they have just come out and said, you know what, this person's lying, that party never happened, although there are hundreds of people who are traumatized and said, I was trafficked into this and I saw this high-profile person, that high-profile person. But because we don't have video evidence, it's easy to say, no, it doesn't make sense. Then you go up another level and people are basically, Trump is saying international law don't mean nothing to me because nobody can't uphold it against me. Can you not see that something is going on that would probably be like, this man is being blackmailed, whether it's Russia, whether it's Israel, whether it's China. It does. Somebody has something on this government at this moment in time, why they are moving so mad, it doesn't make any sense. And then why are the Democrats also being quite silent about what is taking place?
Because that's the thing. That's why it's not. Those of you who are just saying MAGA and all that shit, you lot are dumb. You're stupid. I like to give people freedom of speech. We like to be fair in the comments, but don't be so dumb. This is not about Republicans or Democrats. You lot are being puppetized. It's about rich elite men controlling the system. That's all it is. That is all it is. I think there's a girl that has a word that I want to share on this. It is literally, forget politics. And that's why the Democrats are moving, I'm going to assume, moving in a kind of sideways way. One, they haven't got any power at the moment because of the way that Republicans have dominated. That's where the politics lay. But really and truly, I don't quite understand about how you can't answer these questions or you can't get access because you're still the higher. Go on.
This is a prime example of stupidity that I cannot. You can't force America to oblige international law when international bodies don't have a military. This is why when you guys get shut down like Gilead, the world is going to be like, there you go. Because as an American, if you are an American, that your rights are being stripped away from you and you are being complicit with a government that doesn't care about its civilians, this is what's going to happen. When they lock you down and then you're going to be thinking, oh, that's how it was in Syria and that's how it happens to third world countries. It will happen over there. It will happen to Americans as well.
Yeah, I was wondering if you're saying it in defense of America or you're saying it as a fact, because that's what America is actually displaying, that they can bully everybody. They've been going on that military thing. They've got military bases in as many countries as they can, and they're playing with countries that don't have the same military force as them. Because what they're doing, just bombing willy-nilly and doing what they can, that's what at the beginning of the year I was saying I was feeling uncomfortable because like actually which force outside of Russia and China can actually retaliate who can give America a run for their money?
No, you need civilians to be like, not in our name.
No, I get that. I'm just saying that. But then also, if you don't have a united military force that could come against America, America has embedded itself in so many places. That's my point. That's all. I understand that. It's about the civilians.
No, I get it. But
that's
also,
what I'm saying.
Who is in the military? They are civilians. Of course. It's for everybody to go into a revolt. You can't just be like, oh, America isn't arbitrary. It actually consists of humans. People have to be like, I'm not me, not in my name, not my government. It's that type of a force. It can't be that somebody else, a foreign power, comes in and saves you, because we've seen foreign powers don't come in and save people at all. They come and take and pillage. Mm-hmm. And it's like, do you want to be the next Palestine? Do you want to have somebody? That's where it goes. And that's how I feel people need to be, that passionate and pissed off and disgusted that a government can do this elsewhere and they are doing it to their own people as well.
Yeah, and I think actually, correct me if I'm wrong. I think I'm getting that's what Big Gun. Sorry, Go Joe 2038 is coming from. I think that's the angle. I don't think they're defending it. They're saying that what it is that Big Gun thing. I kind of see it like that. I don't know if that's what you mean, guys. I don't know if that's what you mean. Please clarify. But that's exactly right. They're playing with their big dicks out. The people on the ground, yes, it's for us to understand when they're doing, because you see how more and more countries are trying to figure out ways to get our kids into the army by doing like gap year and sign up for the military and trying to incorporate it into the curriculum and stuff like that. Keep your kids away from however you do it. Do not sign up. This is how they're recruiting ICE agents, by offering them big loads of money and trying to turn the civilians into a military force even more so. And that is what America's doing. And UK is following suit. I see in the comments someone saying, why two Brits are concerned about America? We'll get onto that. And your country...
But even that is just foolish.
It's so silly. It's a waste of time to
take the stupidity of why are people outside of America? But what is America doing?
It's bombing around the world. Are you okay? It's trying to infiltrate into other countries. That is why we're bothered. Our governments are beefing with America right now. That is why it's important to keep an eye on. And first and foremost, you have rich white elite men who have been accused in an abundance of times of meddling with and doing nasty things to young girls. This is the system that's controlling the world. They control the world. So it's not just about America is, yes, maybe the hub of it, but they're controlling the world. And there's a bunch of international men. It's not just exclusive to America. There's a network of rich elites who are not just exclusive to Americans. It is a global situation. It is a global problem. So yes, we're going to continue to talk about it. This girl had just a simple thing to say.
Can we just talk about the fact that none of this would be happening? Not if you voted for Kamala, not if the Democrats did this, none of that. This wouldn't be happening simply if these men didn't rape little girls. Can we talk about that? Because none of this would be happening if they weren't all shitty, predatory, morally bankrupt rapists doing the devil's work and now trying to cover their tracks. That is why we're here. It's not because of protesters or illegal immigration or churches being disrupted and harmed. We are here because powerful men hurt children and will burn the entire country down before they let the truth come out. And instead of people asking, why are people protesting? Or is that video of Alex Preddy real? Or did Renee Good deserve to die? Why don't you start asking why the government is bending every law possible, twisting every narrative, and arresting whoever the hell they want so that they can protect these monsters?
That's all. Very simple.
That's literally it. And that is the whole thing of, because even Joj, I think 2038 came back and said, yes, that's what I'm saying. I am saying it is not reality. So that I'm clear on my point, I understand the projected reality that they want everybody to subscribe to, that this is the way it is. Nobody can fight against America. That is not reality. It is a lie. And the lie is being perpetuated by people being like, I'm helpless. We are not helpless. There is more of us than there are them. If you have somebody that is in your family and they are military, they also have a sphere of influence. And you do, through proximity, to be like, nah, blood, you can't be going out there and doing that. This is what we need to do. We need to actually activate our will to fight against them. It's a small set of people who we have given power to. We have given them access. We have allowed them to rule over us. And it's time for us to all be like, absolutely not. We're not going to be ruled by psychopaths. Absolutely. That's the changing of reality. That is what happens. That is what takes revolutions to take place, is when people, normal folks, are like, absolutely not are we working with this. They are lying. It's not being like, oh, what can we do? Because if we go into what can we do about it, that's when they can do whatever they want. And we have seen they will kill their own people at scale to get what they want.
Yeah.
This is the world that we live in. So that's the reality to wake up to. What do we want it to look like? Or do you want Trump to then in 2 years' time be like, you know what, the country's too stable, I can't leave? Because that's what will happen.
That's what he's aiming for. That's what he's aiming for. But I think that what you're offering is a solution or an idea of like what can be done. And I think depending on how the protests go, because also it's so interesting that, anyway, let's get into the next story. I was going to go to a case. I just wanted to mention it. Tian Robinson. This is a UK case. And it's just because on the back of what we're talking about, elite men not being prosecuted for their sexual assault and crimes, there's a trickle-down effect, and then there's a wider conversation about how rape is treated in the criminal justice system. And it doesn't just affect America, it affects the UK. And I just want to say that the woman called Tian Robinson, who died in 2025 from a blood clot, she was abused, seriously abused domestically by her then boyfriend, Joel Osei, who then, because she passed away from an unrelated illness, he doesn't get to stand trial. He only serves 4 years for his crime. After he beat her, he tortured her, he did all these things to her. But because she passed away and she couldn't speak up for herself, he now avoids being dealt with in the courts properly. And this is a UK story. I wanted to just go straight to the journalist thing, but I wanted to mention that there's a trickle-down effect. There's a wider problem with how sexual assault is treated. And those people saying, oh, victims this and victims that. Victims don't have advocacy. They don't have protection. They don't have rights in the legal system. But the legal system is literally structured by men for men. That is the problem. And it's worldwide. So just rest in peace, Tian Robinson, and
I really feel for her. She's also got a Phillips cousin. She's got a Phillips cousin.
She's sorry. Oh, is she? Is she?
Yeah. He did speak about it on TikTok when she passed, and they had done some videos together. Basically, he was just talking about the blood clot and everything that she passed from. But also, I mean, they can say it's unrelated, but if her body was going through trauma, we don't know. We don't know that it is. But his sentence of 4 years, when you do have some evidence that he did other things to her, it just feels so unjust that that's what his sentence is. That her last years on this earth were absolutely traumatized by this man, and all he's going to do is 4 years.
Because we talked about it a bit more, I could just play this video. This guy's recapping it, because there's also not enough like actual news, and I'll play a bit from her mum, but there's not actual news on it. He's going to recap what happened to this young lady.
Was a beacon of light on TikTok and in Nottingham, but behind the camera, she was living a nightmare that eventually silenced her forever. The 29-year-old from Nottingham was a beloved beauty influencer, but her life was destroyed by her partner, Joel Osei, who subjected her to years of horrific domestic abuse. Osei didn't just hit her, he strangled her, dragged her across concrete and threatened to bury her in Epping Forest. Her family say she became unrecognizable because of the trauma. Last September, Tian tragically died from a blood clot. Because she passed away before the trial, she couldn't give evidence, and now Osei has avoided standing trial for 4 counts of rape. This week, Osei was jailed for just over 4 years for the abuse. Tian's mother stood in the court, looked at him in the eyes and told him, "You broke her spirit and her soul." Tian's family is still fighting for her phone to be analysed to find more evidence.
Exactly.
The system failed her. What do you think of this sentence? Share this video.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I'm talking about, that they could go through her phone.
Yeah.
And it's like they're not. It just feels really unfair.
Yeah.
Overall, it feels really unfair.
It's horrible. I just wanted to touch on that, because there's a wider problem, and this is why, from the top to the bottom, how what happens at the top affects us. It trickles down. It becomes raceless. It becomes political-less. It becomes about the system and how it's built to protect certain people. And the trickle-down effect is that by default, there's a certain gender that gets away with some stuff. And that's not anti-men hate or anything like that. It's everything in how it infiltrates how we move and navigate this world.
Well, it feels like it has been set up at this moment in time that any type of sexual acts get a really light sentence. And the fact that there are parts of this land that even want to kind of decriminalize certain factions of pedophilia, or, you know, we've seen so many newscasters as well talk about Jeffrey Epstein. You can't call him a straight pedophile because he liked the teenage variety.
Exactly.
Look at that. Footage of him running after children.
That was a woman.
Yeah, Megan something.
Yeah, Megan Kelly. That said that.
Yeah. And it's like, she isn't even the only one. There are lots of them. There are people that are like light affiliations to Jeffrey being like, no, it's not as bad as it's been made out to be. And it's like, no, you're all, this is disgusting. And we know it's deeper than that, but this is what they say. In the same way, all the things against Diddy, did he not say that Cassie was lying?
Yeah.
Until we had video footage. And then you're coming out and being like, you know, I'm sorry. It was a dark time for me. Everybody, somebody else in the chat said, in all of the sexual deviance that she has encountered in criminal justice, they all say they are innocent.
Yeah.
Everybody says it. Trump has said it, but did he not have to pay off the girl Stormy money? Has he not been convicted of shit? But he's going on like, I'm not a criminal and I'm going to deport. You're a criminal. Let's actually open up our eyes, ears, our brains to that they are lying. And if they can lie for things that we have seen, they are lying about things that we definitely haven't seen.
What do you call it? Whatever the hell your name is, to counter that, some women use false accusations as a weapon. We know this, and I literally mentioned that already. But in the grand scheme of things, are you sitting here with yours? Are you sitting here and going to say that we live in a world where the system is built upon women lying about rape? Are you saying that? Please give evidence. No. Let's explore. If that's what we're saying, we're going to move on to the next story. We're gonna, but guys, I haven't even mentioned. We've introduced a new section called the town hall, where we're going to let you guys come up and share your comments. You'll have a minute. You won't have time to go on and on and on. So get your minutes prepared to either comment on the story or bring your own thoughts to that you want to share. You've got a minute. We'll do that later on in the show. But at the moment, whilst we're discussing other stories, you sit there and tell us the system that is built on the world, that is built on the back of women lying about men raping them. Just tell me that's the system that we live in, that it permeates down. The evidence that we've just shown about an elite system of a network that has been troubling girls for how long, that trickles down into how the justice system didn't provide justice for Tian Robinson when her partner domestically abused her, and how he's only serving 4 years for a litany of accusations. You tell me about a system that works in favor, that there's a counter system, that you guys, men, are suffering in the majority to the point it affects everything and everybody. Everything and everybody. Remember, this affects the world over. We have child brides. We have women raped and abused because women are supposed to be defending countries in war. So much happens. Women can't drive. Women can't read. Women have to be covered up if they don't want to, against their will. I'm not talking about those who cover up for their will. Tell me a system that works in favor of women accusing men of rape. Please tell me, and we'll get on to the next story. Thank you.
It's actually ridiculous when it's broken down like that. And even earlier on, I saw somebody say about, but it works in terms of divorce. And when you actually look at the stats of it all, it doesn't. A lot of you have been brought up by Andrew Tate and his pseudo bullshit. And it's like, it actually doesn't. Talk to lawyers and find out actually how it goes. Because what they'll say is it rules in favor of women. But so many times, actually, I think the figure was like 70% of cases, the men actually don't contest a mother on taking the child. 70%. So that's why the numbers where a child would be going with the mother is high. Is because the father didn't actually want the kids like that either. So it's like you can look at plain paper stats, because most of you don't actually even know any married people who are getting a divorce, and be like, oh, there's an injustice against me, when it actually isn't real. It's just not how the world goes. And it's like, let's actually, instead of following stupid folks that are just talking on the internet, also dig in. You ain't even got to listen to us. Go and do your own research. We say this all the time. Go and do your own research. Like, use your brain matter to actually be like, what are my true opinions on this? Not what CNN says, not what Fox News says, not what the BBC says. Let me actually go and find data to have real opinions on shit.
I think that's important. And if I misread you, that is just, that statement I felt like was unnecessary in the world of what we're talking about. So that's why I'm giving you that response, because in what we're talking about, the grand scheme of things is irrelevant at that point. We do talk about women doing false accusations. We've talked about it. When the story comes up, we will talk about it. When it's relevant, we will talk about it. But in that moment and what we're talking about, I felt that statement was unnecessary. If that's not what you meant, that's not a problem. Okay.
This is the proof. I'm gonna get this comment. Myself says, in recent ICE incident involving a child, the child was used to lure a man to his arrest. Where is this tactic also used? The Gaza parallels run so deep. And this is what we all have to see. As many people have been saying, you can think it's happening over there. Remember that they are using this data to be able to do it in various countries. Remember, this is the same people. They all run in the same packs. They are all providing each other arms. Let's not be naive to what could be happening over there. Could be happening in our backyards very soon. And then we're all going to be like, who's going to come and save us? Because do you think that China and Russia are then going to be like, let's help these people out? We have to help ourselves. We can't be hoping that there's going to be some alien invasion that then frees the humans. We have to get rid of them.
I'm apologizing to Moi because I think I misinterpreted what they said. Sorry, it's heated out here. We're very stressed. But if that's not what you meant, that's what I read from that one comment when you said women often do that, whatever. So I misinterpret. I'm not big enough to say sorry. Too big to say sorry if I misinterpreted your words. We're sensitive out here. We're angry out here. All right, moving on to the next story. Journalists charged after anti-ICE protests at Minnesota church opening. We had Georgia Fort and Don Lemon. Journalist Georgia Fort and independent journalist and former CNN host Don Lemon were arrested and been charged with they've been charged on the back of them reporting on protests at a church where the head of the church was reported to be an ICE kind of enforcer, an ICE agent enforcer. So the church was St. Paul's, and they were live streaming. Sorry, they weren't live streaming. They were reporting from there and just kind of find out what's going on whilst this protest was happening at the church. Georgia Fort shared a live stream of federal agents coming to her door. I will play that, and then Don Lemon has been released, and we'll play what he has said to the press on the back of his release. Give me a sec.
There was 2 other journalists that were arrested at the same time. I can't find their names.
I can't.
And it's very apt that all 4 of them were black. As well.
Yeah, that's another thing where someone else said it's not about. I think he was on a conversation. There was one of those kind of multi-conversationals, and someone who was like defending the arrest of Don Lemon. She was saying it's not about race, but it's like, well, how come all of them are
no,
black?
It most definitely is. It most definitely is about race. You know what was really interesting? A few days ago, I was watching lots of different people talking about what's going on with ICE. And I felt a sense of, oh, fuck, they're going to start bringing black people in. It gave me chills like COVID. Like when COVID was affecting communities, and then there was a story that went out like, oh, black people don't seem to be getting it. People in Africa aren't getting COVID. And immediately we had started a podcast, and it's a bit like, oh, this is a scary time. Oh, fuck, they started to look at us. And it felt similar, like somehow black folks are going to be pulled into this because too many white people are actually being like, what the hell was going on? Like, this is unprecedented times. And they had to change it. They had to change the face of what is going on. Lo and behold, 2 days later, Don Lemon gets, and it's 4 black journalists that were covering something that was going on. And it's like, yeah, here we go. Here we go again, trying to pull in black folk.
All right, so it's interesting. I'm seeing a comment, but I'm going to play this and then I'll play what Don said. Let's go.
At my door right now, they're saying that they were able to go before a grand jury sometime, I guess, in the last 24 hours, and that they have a warrant for my arrest.
Renee!
Can you say why you held this action here today?
We held this action here today because David Easterwood is a pastor here. He also serves as the field director for ICE in St. Paul. So in other words, he is the overseer for ICE agents.
All right, if you guys are just joining us, I am here in St. Paul in the brutal cold at a church on a summit where, as you heard from organizers, the pastor is in a acting leadership position of ICE, the ICE department in St. Paul. You saw a lot of the folks who go to this church just extremely uncomfortable, not, I guess, fully understanding why folks were here. But organizers made it clear it's because of the position in which their pastor sits. And so I've talked to my attorney and I'm being advised to go with them, I guess, down to Whipple. And my children are here. They're impacted by this. This is all stemming from the fact that I filmed a protest as a member of the media. We are supposed to have our constitutional right of the freedom to film, to be a member of the press. I don't feel like I have my First Amendment right as a member of the press.
because now federal agents are at my door arresting me for filming the church protest a few weeks ago. Again, I don't have a long time here, you guys, but I wanted you to know, for me, agents are at my door right now.
This is what the First Amendment is about the freedom to protest.
There's varying array of views in this church.
Okay, can't see that. So people are saying, like, the whole thing is that you have the right, look at it, the First Amendment, the freedom of the press and First Amendment rights. The First Amendment to the US Constitution protects freedom of speech and freedom of the press. That means the government generally cannot punish journalists just for reporting news, criticizing public officials, or expressing opinions. Journalists have the constitutional right to gather information and share it with the public. This protection applies broadly to the press, which US Supreme Court rulings interpret to cover all speakers and publishers equally, not just traditional media institutions. So independent journalists, bloggers, live streamers, and others have the same First Amendment protections. However, these rights are not absolute. The press freedom guarantee does not give journalists immunity from generally applicable laws, especially if they cross legal boundaries or commit other unlawful acts unrelated to publishing. Now, to report at protests, journalists generally have a right to be present in public spaces and document protests without government interference, so long as they do not break other laws like trespassing or obstructing justice. But the right to be in certain places isn't guaranteed. For example, private properties or private parts of buildings, including some locations where religious services are held, do not necessarily have to allow journalists access, even if it's newsworthy. So there's all of that. So do you know what? On a normal day, maybe there's grounds to say, okay, you shouldn't have been there. I don't think neither Don Lemon nor Georgia Port were partaking in the protests inside the church. I think there's something about protesting within protected spaces, and churches cover that. So there's those people who kind of broke through into the service and started protesting. There's possibly a law broken there. But as journalists following them in to talk about and ask them what's going on, that is where the lines are blurred. And that is where all we see is that Donald Trump and his government are being petty and are doing it to just flaunt their bully tactics, basically.
But basically, I can't see a way around it.
As journalists,
you went to 2 courts before you managed to get a federal judge to approve this, and it was thrown out 2 times before, and you carried on going. That's public spending to get these people to be arrested. For why? Like, Donald Trump has had a beef with Don Lemon for a very long time. So, and again, Donald Trump, whoever he beefs with, he does seem to try and get them in some way, shape, or form. And it's not escaping me that also all of a sudden Nicki Minaj decided to start going at Don Lemon as well, like last week. It's all very suspicious. Now, I think for anybody that reports on things and is a journalist, we should all be like, this is crazy. These are the steps that a fascist state always takes. They shut down press. So it's not, and that is for everybody. Everybody, whether you're a part of journalism or not, you should want an independent media to be able to give you the news, to be able to shed light on situations and tell folks what is going on so that we're not being fed just propaganda. I think whether you like Don Lemon or not is irrelevant to what he was doing. Was clearly reporting what was taking place. We didn't hear him doing any chants. We didn't see any of that take place. In both of their reporting, they were talking to people, asking them, why are you here? He was talking to one of the priests saying, why do you think they are here protesting? Do you have any means to calm this down? He was asking him questions. He was interviewing him. He was by no means protesting. Now, maybe you have something on that they were in a church. Some folks say that that can be argued against, and there's precedents that things have happened in church and nobody was prosecuted for it. So he probably is going, and Georgia are not going to face anything about this. But what they are doing is hemorrhaging their money on lawyer fees and actually just loss of work as well. And that's a tactic that people do to weaken their opposers. So it's like, to me, this is disgraceful, and people should be up in arms about it. It shouldn't be that this is okay.
Yeah, I think I can see the comments. Look, there's so many layers to this. Don Lemon isn't our journalist over the UK, not someone I follow religiously. I've seen his posts, I see what he says. I take him or leave him. I have no dog in the fight when it comes to who Don Lemon is, a person or as a journalist, or what his preferences are. That doesn't come into it either for those saying those type of things. I'm just more concerned about this thing here. If the church is a protected space and people are protesting within the church, at that point the service has been disrupted. So if you're a journalist, I would go in not thinking I'm going to join the protest. I'm going in to find out what's going on, because at this point the service has been disrupted. At this point they are making noise. So at this point, in a world of trying to get the news, I would have thought it's okay, and possibly maybe I would have needed to do my research. I might have thought I'm okay, because at this point it has been disrupted. I understand it was part of the protest and in the protest and saying coming for the pastor. If Don Lemon and Georgia Port were involved in that, unless you guys are just talking about Don, there's also Georgia Port and two other journalists who were also. So it's not all about Don. He's just the most prominent facing. If any of them took part in the protest, then I understand, bets are off. But if you're reporting it, that's the part where I think that's the dangerous part, because, and do you know why it's dangerous? Because yes, if it's a violation of your journalistic code of conduct, yeah, maybe get a rap on the wrist because you should have waited for them to come out or something like that. But you're talking about a government that is breaking the rules left, right, and center. So for them to hone in and do this, as Nana says, they're just trying to weaken their opponents. They're just trying to show that they're trying to flex their muscle and have people nervous about how they report things, because they are already trying to arrest journalists. They're already saying out loud, if you do this type of reporting, you will get arrested. So that's happening anyway. It's not just about this. This has got some attention, but the bigger picture is freedom of speech only applying to the elite again, or people who are curried favor with the current government, not your average, because we at this point are at risk. At the moment, if you travel and they decide that your commentary is anti-Trump, too anti-Trump, or too anti-establishment, you're not going into a country. If I want to go and visit family right now, I might have a problem. I mean, I say that, you know what, it's not that deep, but some people are not being allowed to travel because of their freedom of speech, exercising their freedom of speech. You got people, I lost my train of thought, but anyway, that's what I'm saying. So those of you saying, I think some of you are saying that Don interrupted a religious service. Did he interrupt the service, or did he follow protesters that had already gone in and continue to report?
I saw, from what I saw, so that they went in, he was outside first of all, as they were, the protest was outside. At some point, for some reason, the protest decided to go into the church to disrupt what was going on. And he followed in and was then asking some of the parishioners, like, do you know why they are protesting? Lots of them were like, we don't know. And then he was saying it's because of the priest in here is affiliated to ICE. He's asking them questions. Then one of the priests, I don't know if it's the actual priest that is affiliated to ICE or one of the other priests, he interviews him as well. And then he says, I'm going to go and finish off my service. And then he leaves him. It's like he doesn't obstruct him. He's not like, no, you must have this interview with me. None of that took place. So it's a bit like, yeah, you're doing this to be petty. You saw that they had gone into a church. And I think that was, whoever is watching what the media is up to, was like, that's a gray area. Somehow we could probably do some bits and pieces. And also, it's not lost on me that this all takes place in a coordinated effort on this hours before they released the Epstein files. So there's a lot of news in one day, all coming out in one day. And this is, again, a propaganda tactic, because people are going to be talking about loads of things all at once. So a lot of people and a lot of journalists are caught up in rallying for journalists and not going through the Epstein files.
All right, because there's so much contention. I'm quite interested in the reaction here in the comments, because you guys seem to be like he was in the wrong. So I just want to, because I haven't played, we're just talking. So I'm just going to try and find a few stories that cover it and let's see, because I'm just like confused.
Reaction today to Don Lemon's arrest.
The Trump administration taking new aggressive steps against journalists.
His former colleagues at CNN expressing outrage.
This very much has Trump retribution vibes.
The White House responding with mockery, announcing Lemon's arrest on social media with the caption, "When life gives you lemons." He was taken into custody early Friday morning in Los Angeles after attending a pre-Grammy party. According to one report, he was seen being handcuffed while flanked by FBI and Homeland Security agents. Lemon is here in Los Angeles to cover the Grammys for his YouTube channel. He's scheduled to be here at Crypto.com Arena on the red carpet, interviewing celebrities before Sunday's show. But all that is up in the air now that he's in federal custody.
I'm just going to walk in, see what's happening.
It was this report 2 weeks ago that landed him in hot water with the Trump administration. He followed anti-ICE agitators into a Minneapolis church whose pastor is believed to work with ICE.
I'm not part of the group. I'm just here photographing. I'm a journalist.
But the White House claims he was one of the organizers. And today, Attorney General Pam Bondi says a grand jury indicted Lemon on charges that he interfered with the congregants' civil rights.
If I haven't been clear already, if you violate that sacred right, we are coming after you.
Don Lemon is planning to fight the charges. His lawyer saying the journalist's work in Minneapolis was, quote, constitutionally protected.
Okay, so those of you who are saying, I think I want to go to Young Turks. I don't know how much they're going to say because they're saying, did he break any laws? I'm really quite surprised that everyone's, well, it seems the majority are on.
I've counted. It's 2 people. They're just
writing. Okay,
yeah.
so I'm just seeing loads of, it's just getting.
Yeah. No, they're just writing the same thing over and over again.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it still doesn't say that he broke. It doesn't say that he really broke the law, because it seems like the crime is protesting within a church. Like that's the crime. Following the protesters to ask questions about what's going on. And it could be the most I could do is that we obviously know that Don Lemon's on the side of anti-ICE. Let's just give it that. So he is going to be enthusiastic and supportive of protesters. So that's as far as it goes. But have all those protesters been arrested too? Because that means everybody in that room should be arrested.
Basically.
Yeah.
Everybody that was in that church should be arrested.
Yeah.
If that is what you're going to do. But at this moment in time, the news is just reporting that the journalists have been arrested for reporting on a protest and then coming along and saying that Don Lemon and Georgia are a part of the organizing team of this protest, again, is folly. Because when have they been organizing protests? So all of it is just like, let's not be stupid, guys. Like, honestly. And sometimes when people are in here doing comments, I don't even know if they're bots, because bots are so sophisticated now. You could do that. You can have bots that participate. You can absolutely send AI agents into streams to cause dissent. You have to be more smart. Don Lemon is a journalist, as is AK. So don't talk about just because you're on YouTube, you're not a journalist. Like, you have to go through a degree. Like, she is actually a journalist. So let's use our brains.
Let's use our brains. And by the way, I just said, at this moment, I just did a YouTube search. The Young Turks. This is like, I didn't say that I'd taken their word. I haven't watched that video. And by the way, there's so many different sources. Like we always say at the beginning, do your own research like we do. I'm not experts. Find people covering conversations. If it's right, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We move on. I'm not saying that I'm holding Young Turks as my Bible. Did not say that. But yeah, I think as we've overly discussed, the bottom line here is Don Lemon, it looked like, went in after the protesters to ask questions. He didn't intimidate anyone. He didn't participate in the protests. And you can see, those of you saying that it wasn't Trump, obviously I know Trump didn't go down and arrest him directly. And I'm sure he didn't know what was going on in the immediacy, but he's co-signing it. And with the White House putting out, when life gives you lemons, Donald Trump is co-signing it. So that's what I mean when Trump's people. So come on, I'm not dumb. Also, on top of that, them saying that he's been brought up on organizing the protests. Now, I think I can go out on a limb and say Don Lemon probably did not organize that protest. If he did, well, more power to him. And then do, you know what? That's a bit dumb, Don. If you're going to let your credentials be known on organizing a protest within a church, and you know, and as a journalist, you should know the law, then that's your fault. And then, yeah, get your rap on the wrists and do what you need to do. But I doubt Don Lemon, and they know that Don Lemon didn't organize it. I think it's just a lot of smoke and mirrors and just to show, flex their muscles on journalists. I think so. It is what it is.
I think it's really that simple, and I hope he really doesn't have to spend so much money on this. But this seems to be a thing that they do, and the amount of times that even Candace Owens, since she's removed herself from MAGA, is being sued by these people, it's a tactic. It's a way to actually remove your voice, to remove your dissent. They lock you up in litigation. Businesses do it to each other to hemorrhage money. It's what happens. So it's like, this to me is a very simple thing that is taking place.
This is what I'm saying. So, I'm trying to get to the facts here. This is what it is. This is what happened. You can dislike Don Lemon, but the fact of the matter is journalists are being arrested.
Sasha, stop trying to. He literally said he was involved in organizing the protest. I watched his live. He said I had nothing to do with organizing.
He literally said he was involved.
He organized the protest.
Who said it? Don
Lemon said that.
Oh, did he say it out loud?
No, he didn't.
I'm saying Sasha's trying to say that he said it out loud.
Yeah.
So he would implement himself on live TV. Yeah. I didn't watch the live, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
and that's the place. No, I watched Don Lemon. He literally did not say that. And when he came out and his live that is up there, that
I've got that here.
Like they are coming after me for these various things. Like, come on now, honestly, we don't even need to play it. It's like, this is what Sasha is saying is foolish. Let's move on to the next one. We're already an hour and a half in.
Oh God, and this is the thing. This is the problem with our show. It's so good and juicy. All right, guys, thank you. Welcome to News and Nonsense at Noon. This is Auntie AK and Nana the Black Fairy, aka Dark and Lovely. I'm the auntie of all aunties, and we're here just reporting the news of the week. There's been a lot of nonsense. We're trying to help you sift through it. And like I said, we're aunties, your favorite aunties. We don't know everything. This is our opinion. This is just what we think. If you don't like it, do your own research. If you like it, still do your own research. Don't be fooled by your idols. I know we are idols. Don't be fooled by your idols, because there's a lot of nonsense going on out here. The next story. Okay, sorry, I went. So guys, you guys are talking about America. Why are two Brits concerned about America? Because, as we always say, whenever America sneezes, the UK catches a cold. So we have had conversation in the UK. Reform, the new kind of right-wing party that's getting everyone's attention, has been talking about an ICE-style border organization. Reform leader Nigel Farrah has drawn comparisons between immigration enforcement in the United States and proposals in the UK, amid a debate about how far state powers should go. Farage's immigration agenda and comments on US immigration enforcement have sparked discussion about whether similar approaches could be adopted in the UK. This is why it is important for you to know global news, not just your country or state's information. Please don't just watch your own, watch the world. Anyway, Nigel Farage has denied it. We're going to go through a few things that kind of counter the possibility of this happening. Your first thoughts, Nand, while I get this video up?
So basically, he came up with this. It was touted around 2 years ago, actually, his ideas. And we all know, and if you don't, there is lots of evidence that reform is being funded by various funders from the US, including Elon Musk as well, that they are absolutely trying to buy our next elections that take place, so that reform come in. Donald Trump, it may even become a part of policy, foreign policy with the UK. If Nigel Farage doesn't become prime minister at some time, that the UK may be under sanctions as well. So this is really important to know, that Reform Party is being funded by right wingers and also suspicious characters who have things with sexual deviance. They want this man to come in, who is trying to present himself like he is an ordinary man fighting for the people. He's absolutely a part of the elites as well, and they will probably buy our election. So here we go.
So here's him denying it. Hold on.
In the United States right now about the way ICE agents are conducting themselves. 2 people shot dead in Minnesota. You will have seen the videos. What's your reaction? They are going too far, are they not? That man had been disarmed. He was shot in the head 10 times. He was no longer carrying a gun.
He was, I mean, the fact that he was carrying a gun, of course, meant that he was
allowed.
Sorry?
You're allowed to carry a gun in Minnesota.
Yes, but you don't carry a gun to a protest. That's the point. If you're going to protest, you don't carry a gun, even if it's an open carry state. Look, it looks like ICE have gone way over the top. But I'm afraid every single year in America, we see examples of the police, of the authorities that go way too far. But because it's ICE, it's obviously much more controversial. And I sensed, coming out of the White House last night, they're pretty uncomfortable too.
And just finally, Sadiq Khan, the London mayor, is suggesting that if you bring in your mass deportations to the United Kingdom, we could see similar scenes of violence and disorder. Has this given you pause at all? What's your response to what Sadiq Khan said?
You know, we do not routinely as a country give our police force, give our authority weapons unless there is an imminent risk of a terror attack. And when it comes to deportations, you know, the point is if people are here illegally, they shouldn't be here. It's as simple as that. Now, you know, no one's pretending this will be easy. No one's pretending there won't be pushback. But it needs to happen because if it doesn't, you don't stop the flow of people continually coming here illegally. And, you know, overwhelmingly, the British public think, whilst we welcome people from other countries in the right numbers, illegal immigration has to stop. And it's very near the top of the public's concerns.
There's a lot of anger in the United States right now about
nonsensical man.
And then just because we've got Suella Braverman doing something, this guy has a little bit of a refresh about Brexit and how that kind of encouraged this wave of immigration, if that's what you lot are talking about. So I want to go into that a little bit because they're all weird.
Don't play it, I'm coming.
Oh shoot, me and my sound. Here we go.
Brexit was actually a facade for what turned out to be a largely Lib Dem socialist light agenda.
What? Because, like, I'm gonna let her finish, but she's saying Lib Dem socialist light. So she's aiming at basically the left, center left of the British population. You know, the demographic that voted the hardest against Brexit. And she's saying that Brexit was their agenda, despite her being in government when Brexit actually happened. And by her own admission,
I'm on the right, proudly on the right of British politics.
But carry on.
Because after 2020, what did we see? Out of control immigration.
Which I warned your new boss would happen in 2017.
If the EU has restrictions on immigration and the UK hasn't been implementing them, leaving the EU would mean more immigration.
So the fact that your lot continued to support Brexit after I warned you this would happen means the lack of control on immigration is very much your doing.
Northern Ireland siphoned off.
Northern Ireland being essentially left in the EU single market is part of the Brexit deal that your government signed. Even better, while I was editing this video, I found this. You literally bragging about the fact that you had a hand in the Northern Ireland part of the Brexit deal. You literally campaigned to get Brexit done, and in terms of international law, the Brexit deal is literally Brexit, and that's what siphoned off Northern Ireland. So you literally campaigned to siphon off Northern Ireland, and now you're complaining that Brexit siphoned off Northern Ireland.
EU rules still applying in the UK.
The government you were a part of specifically chose not to have a bonfire of all the laws and regulations that came originally from the EU. Why? Because the organizations that represent British businesses, like the CBI, warned that a bonfire of EU regulations would cause major damage to the UK economy. So again, you're complaining about a decision that you made.
The highest burden in 70 years.
The damage that Brexit did to the economy cost the UK.
So this, to be fair, this goes on to a wider thing about Brexit, but it's just that whole thing about immigration, how the destabilization has caused maybe a higher influx of people wanting to come to this country, but that gives more and more as Suella's and as Farrah gains notoriety and builds up the reputation of reform. This is when it starts to get easier and easier to usher in an ICE-like system in the UK. That's all. That is all.
And also what I know for some people whose towns feel like my town has changed loads because of the asylum seekers that are coming in, there's never any impetus on what our foreign policy is, what wars we have started, whose countries we have pillaged, what instability our governments have caused that has made people want to leave the country that they are in to come into the West and have now a different life, a successful life, a life away from poverty. There seems, and I need more people, actual humans with a heart, to understand what is going on and not be so selfish, because you can be like, it's over there. Remember how world powers shift. Before you know it, the West will be there, and it will be your country that you don't want to leave, but another superpower is troubling your stability that you then have to leave. And it's like, I don't understand why people can be so myopic to, we don't want these immigrants here. You will be that immigrant soon.
Yeah.
That is just the way it goes. Superpowers change. It can happen. And to not understand that, I just find really disgusting. Anyway, when I say that I don't know if all humans are humans, it really, my mind boggles as to what goes on in folks' heads, that you will think just because they're brown or black, it's not going to be me.
It's happening. It's happening in America. This girl says something, say, then we can get into the discussion. Oh God, me and myself.
He has an official TikTok page, but now has the backing of Nigel Farage alongside the entirety of the Reform UK party. And that is because even Nigel Farage himself has said that if he were to become Prime Minister, he would be looking to replicate exactly what's happening in America over here in the UK. You see, Reform UK has just laid out a plan to detain and deport thousands of people entering the UK of whom they believe to be illegal. But as online documentaries and reporting has shown, that's not always too obvious, is it? Now, this new proposal is what Reform UK are calling the Operation Restoring Justice, as it would see illegal migrants arrested upon arrival, detained and deported, alongside an overall increase in enforcement activity in the UK, of which is very similar in purpose to ICE operations in the US. Now, Reform UK have already stated that they will push for immediate detention of anyone who they think is arriving illegally, of which goes even further than current UK practices of deporting and detaining without any legal safeguards or human rights protections in place. Under their own protocols, they say that people will be detained and deported and never, ever allowed to stay. So you may have heard that the British version of ICE now not only has an official...
Just a little overview, summing it up. And I just really not love what you're saying, but it's exactly that. If you look at what your governments are doing in other countries, we talk about it all the time. Get out of Africa. That is why Africa is... We're hoping and praying that more African leaders are coming to their senses and putting more restrictions on American businesses, European businesses, Western businesses that have been operating in our countries, on the continent and in the Caribbean, just without any rhyme or reason, without any regulation, because they're the dominant powers. They dictate how countries can let them operate. Imagine you go to a country, you tell them how you're going to operate. You go to see when I Show Speed went around, and he got to, where did he go when with the diamonds? You go, where was it? Who does diamonds? Botswana? Where was he? Where he went to say, "Can I buy diamonds?" And it came out that he can't buy diamonds from. He has to go through the external source.
Oh, was he not in Zim?
Or Zimbabwe?
Oh, I think it was Zimbabwe. Yeah, I remember seeing it. Yeah,
wherever he was, there's that, and it was revealed that the company that is not a Zimbabwean company, but an African company. You can't buy diamonds from the African source. You have to go through this company. That's not African. That is what's been happening for generations and years since slavery ended, since colonialization ended. Colonialism hasn't ended, by the way.
Yeah,
there's different ways it's rebranded as business. That is what's happening. So when you want to protest your town and get them out, it's never going to happen in the way that you think, because their countries are destabilized because of Western infiltration. That is it. That is all. So how about you protest your government to stop messing with other countries, just so, because you're forgetting all those devices that you use, all that thing. And as Nana said, you think it's over there and it's not affecting, it affects, everything affects you. That's why world news is important, not just the news of your country. keeping an eye on what's going on around the world will help you understand why it's important to not just look at in isolation about what's going on in your town. Yes, be focused on your politicians, your immediate politicians, and challenge them, but don't be ignorant to what's going on around the world. And the reason why so many immigrants are trying to come over, illegally or legally, is because their countries are destabilized because of Western navigation and infiltration and instigation. That's what's happening.
It's what they do, and when it's not in their interest, they kill a leader, cause a coup, and put somebody else in. And the more we wise up to this playbook, that obviously it's coming to an end anyway. It's always, if you check through history and see when superpowers are about to implode and the power is going to be dispersed, they do get all the more draconian and actually try and lock in to have a power burst. And then that's usually when it all ends. And that's when a big war takes place and then the power shifts again. So we are probably going to go through that. If you've been watching us for a while, you will know there's 2 dates that I always say: get your shit together by 2030 and absolutely leave the West at the very last minute at 2040, because you don't want to be in that vacuum when it then drops to either 2 or 3 and China or Russia, or it could be India. We don't even know where this is going to shift to. Sometimes the power shifts to another place where you're like, how the hell did they get it? But they do. So you don't know where it's going to go to. And then you are basically the next in the second or third world country. Because remember, the people that have the power there, and it was seen in Russia as well when the power changed, the oligarchs then held down everybody. They were literally in starvation. They were fine before. But then they reduced it to where you're living off rations. I don't think anybody needs to think in the UK that can't be us, or in America that can't be you. That you are now going to rations, and there are going to be the billionaires that have all of the space and are building and doing whatever they want, but there isn't enough wealth flow there, but they're going to hold onto it and they don't care if you die. They already talk about this agenda that there's too many humans. They're already talking about it. So once folks start dying from starvation, it seems like lots of people are comfortable when that's happening in Ethiopia or Somalia or in Syria or in Palestine. Don't think that it can't be at your doorstep as well, where you are then the ones that are starving and dying because the power shift took place somewhere else. I don't think that it's all about survival and you're going to be okay. It really isn't. Then I hate to have FBAs in here talking about Black Americans are going to be okay, and you guys ain't even Black. And honestly, please, I know not everybody can come with us, not all skin folk and kinfolk, but the fact that you are ready to argue on the internet and die on this hill will be the death of you. It will.
It's such a point, because if you're saying Africans are afraid to die for their rights, do you know? I don't even understand how. And you might be a bot as well, Power Players Magazine, but someone says your platform's shit, so maybe you are real. I just take a little minute, just Google it. Google is your friend. Google all the things that are happening in all the African countries. You think that Africans are scared to die?
I actually believe
Africans are scared to die. Yeah, definitely.
I actually do believe it. I actually do believe the whole FBA message. But whenever a message is put in place to a community and there are a lot of disenfranchised people within it, as we have seen, you ain't even got to do too much after a while, because normal folks will carry it on. And it actually is really annoying and distressing to have seemingly sane, because it's in real life as well, Black folk carry this on, and it's like, please, let's read a flipping book or two.
Just reach out and touch. Think about it. Just really think about it. And travel. Get your passport and travel, and see the world for what it really is. It's just there's a few simple things you can do to right the glitch in your brain that's not making you see common sense. This is not the time for you to take tribalistic sides. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter whether you're Black American, you're Black British, you're African, you're Caribbean, Jamaican, Grenadian, Ghanaian, Nigerian, Botswanan, whatever. It doesn't actually matter. What matters is humanity and the way that the world is being destroyed by the rich elite. That's all that matters. How do you step up? And yes, there are going to be some people, regardless of where they're from, who are scared. And there are people that are going to die on their sword for humanity. There are. And you know it. You know that if you guys protest really, if you literally come out your yard, come off the internet and go outside and protest on the streets, you know that you're not just standing with just Black Americans or just Africans or just Caribbeans. You know there's a mixture. You know there's a mixture of people. It's not just Black and brown. There are even white people involved. There are people that are just, at this moment, world is going to shit. We want to protect our humanity rights. That is it. That's all that matters at this point. All that matters at this point. We'll be fine. And do you know what? If you think you're going to be fine, there's also that human survival. Humans survive the worst. Absolutely. And Black people are resilient around the world. I mean, it is what it is. I have to move on because you lot are crazy. There was that commentary. I was going to go through a list of all the things that ICE are doing. But it's no point in playing all the videos. ICE are targeting white people doing shopping in case they're delivering to immigrants. So everything they're doing in America is what will happen in the UK. For everyone who's advocating for ICE kind of tactics in the UK, this is what's going to happen. So this is what you need to look out for. They'll be targeting you, because there's a few videos of like regular working class white folks who are saying, you're telling me to go against who? Because my neighbor, let's say my neighbor Tyrone is great. My neighbor Dion, my neighbor Peter is fine. We all grew up in our communities and we're all good. You want me to go against them? So the people that actually don't see race in that way and actually like, this is my neighborhood, these are my people. When those people who are protecting, like the two people that got shot right now, who were advocating on behalf of, who got killed.
Renee Good and Alex Pretty.
Sorry, that's going to happen over here. You could be the Renee Good and the Alex Pretty that's just like, I'm standing up for my people. And then you get killed or taken out. And this is what they're doing. They're following white people home who are doing shopping because they think you might be shopping for some immigrants that you're trying to help. And they're trying to get their list, their addresses. Let me play it. Let me actually play the video because I'm not even
actually, Ray Rello, sorry if I'm saying it all wrong. This is actually spot on, but it's already happened during the Windrush scandal. Most definitely we have. And so again, we know how they're going to do it. They will get people when you're trying to get a passport, when you've traveled. That's light work. So they've seen how we can do it slightly. And obviously we didn't have crazy protests about it. Now, when they start going door to door to people like they are, because they see how it can work and how you can actually have communities colluding with it, yes, it will happen over here. And it will be with people who have gone to school with us, who may not have... I wouldn't even say I would be excluded. Born here, Brit. They could say, but your parents didn't have the right status in especially as I don't even have my parents now. I wouldn't say that I would be safe here because that's what they will start to do. They'll change the parameters. So it won't be that your citizenship is because you're British born. And they've shown that with Shamima Begum, that she is born here and they stripped her of her citizenship. And they're like, well, now you can, if Pakistan will have you, you can go back to Pakistan. They will do that with us. You're born here and they'll be like, yeah, but your parents are born in Ghana. You can go off to Ghana. And they will do that to folks. And then they'll take it back a further. Your grandparents, if they want to get rid of you from their land, they will do it. And that's what we all have to stand against.
Following white people with grocery bags because think that they will lead them to the addresses of people who are undocumented and hiding. And so they've trained all of these grocery volunteers to never write the list of addresses on your phone or any digital device, only write it on a piece of paper. And if you're grabbed by ICE, the instructions are to eat the list to stop the addresses from being shared, which is really dystopian. It's also a mark of how innovative we are, but it's really dystopian that we're in a position where delivering groceries to someone is seen as something you might get followed by the federal government for, and you're so worried about it that you have to write it on a physical list that you might have to eat.
That's fucking crazy. That's crazy, but yeah, that's the way of the world. Does that not actually sound very similar? I remember in history when we were doing Anne Frank.
Yeah.
And when people, and I do remember, it's something about the eating of lists. There was something that people were doing as well. If they had any names or you would just eat what you was carrying so that they couldn't get the people's names that you may have been helping out.
I remember
this picture. This is Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett and Congressman Joaquin Castro at Dilley Detention Facility in Texas, which is an ICE detention facility. And that is 5-year-old Liam, the little boy in the blue hat who was snatched up in Minneapolis, and he's in the arms of his father, Adrian. And he's asleep. And Congressman Castro said that he sleeps most of the day because he's depressed and he doesn't have enough nutrition. And there are reports that these facilities are not heated properly in this cold and that they're unsanitary and unsafe. And they're locked up in that prison because despite being lawful asylum seekers who had no deportation orders and who were documented, not undocumented, Liam and his father were kidnapped by ICE agents in the driveway of their home. And now they're in Texas, locked up in a prison. And for the people who say that you support Trump and MAGA and ICE, I want you to tell me that it's okay to lock up an innocent 5-year-old child in a prison without enough food, in unsanitary and unsafe conditions. Don't talk around it. Don't do that. Because y'all always say, oh, well, they should have done it the right way. Well, they did. Again, lawful asylum seekers who were documented, did not have deportation orders, were following the law. But then y'all love to say, well, if they just stayed in their country, that's not what we're talking about. I want you to tell us that you think it's okay for an innocent 5-year-old child to be locked up in a prison. I want to hear y'all say it.
To never be a federal agent in a medical exam room. But over the past few months, while working in the hospital, I've had multiple ICE agents sitting in the room while I talk to my patients. Not outside the hospital, not in the hallway, in the room. My name is Dr. Joel, the Medical Mythbuster, and today let's talk about ICE, hospitals, and why this is becoming a public health issue. Twice in 1 week, I took care of patients transferred from ICE detention centers. In both times, ICE agents stayed in the room, listening, taking notes, even sometimes interjecting. That immediately raised concerns for me about privacy, consent, and the power dynamics at play, especially when language barriers were involved. So I looked into the law, but what I found wasn't clarity. There are clear protections for patient privacy under HIPAA. There are longstanding norms about hospitals being sensitive areas. But what I found is there's far less legal clarity when someone is already in federal custody and being given medical care. The ambiguity is where harm often lies.
I mean, I'm just giving an overview of what could happen, and it's not just America, it could happen over the UK. This is what to expect. These are the type of things to expect. And this boils down to all those people doing hyperbole about, oh yes, you know, you've got grooming gangs and you've got the illegal... there's another guy that's got numbers. I wish I don't know if I've got that video of numbers of who is actually criminal, who ICE have detained, and who actually came legally, who is actually an illegal immigrant that came off a boat or something, underhand tactics, and who actually is just people that are just coming out of court or going to court. You're arresting them too, or you're not even arresting them, you're kidnapping them too. So all these things can happen.
The stat that have been caught so far is 5% are actual criminals, like as in they've gone through the system, have criminal record. 5% of people that are detained at this moment in time, which is basically what Trump ran on. He said, I'm going to get the criminals, the illegal criminals, out of our society. And now, if you've only got 5% that have that, but you wanted folks who are your base to be like you're rounding up folks, then you had to start getting normal people who were functioning, who may be going through the process of seeking asylum, which isn't illegal. Like most countries have signed up to international treaties to be able to take in asylum seekers. So if you're seeking asylum, it goes through a process. You don't fill out the form and you may have to operate in society while you are getting your documentation. They are not criminals. Now you're rounding those people up. And then there are various different forms of asylum that have been given, and you've decided to criminalize that and be like, I'm sending you back home. Although before he came in, you were able to work here. And these are that's why they're going to Home Depot. They're going to, like, I guess, entry-level jobs, low-skilled jobs, and being like, yeah, we're rounding them up. Or you're rounding up people who just particularly look like they're South American. And also within that, you're rounding up indigenous people to America, who is their land, and being like, yeah, you look like you're seeking asylum, or you look like you're an undocumented
or you've got an accent, all that type of stuff. So all
is this, and to have people be like, yeah, no, this is okay. Watch when they start coming to your door,
putting you out. Any more? I mean, guys, we're going to do our town hall in a second. One more story that got nothing to do with nothing, just to it's more of a human interest story. I'm not going to do the one I was thinking of because I think that's too left, and that yeah, we'll do a Florida couple has had to sue an IVF clinic after DNA test shows baby is not theirs. So a Florida couple has filed an emergency lawsuit against a fertility clinic after DNA testing revealed their newborn baby is not genetically related to either parent. The case has raised serious questions about accountability, consent, and safeguards within fertility treatment and embryo storage processes. So I'm going to play the video. Guys, remember, we're about to open up the town hall. How do they do it, Nana? How do they
I will put the link in the chat. Come up. You have just 1 minute. I'm actually going to use a timer. You have 1 minute to say your point, and then we'll keep it moving. Are you setting up the next thing? Yeah. Okay. All right.
So guys, yeah, you can join the link and share your comments. It could be on. You can have your own story. You can have your own commentary on the stories that we've reported, but keep it cute, keep it respectful. And you know what? We'll deal with you. If you get disrespectful, you're just going to get gone and blocked. Comments on the stories and your thoughts. You got a minute because we can't have everyone grandstanding. We might keep you up to have a back and forth, maybe a dialogue. If not, you go back to your seat and then you continue watching the show. I was going to tell a story about this IVF couple.
Clients are falling more and more in love with their baby every day.
Sorry, it's a bit low.
Clients are falling more and more in love with their baby every day.
For the first time since a Central Florida couple filed a lawsuit against this IVF clinic in Longwood, we're not only hearing from their attorneys, but we're seeing the newborn baby girl who the couple says is not biologically theirs.
Just want to be able to ascertain what more they can be doing to ensure that all parties who will fall in love with this baby know of her existence and be able to secure their embryos that they stored with the defendant.
These court documents show the baby girl was born in December through IVF, thanks to the Fertility Center of Orlando. The couple, who was white, soon realized the baby is not, and genetic testing revealed their baby girl isn't theirs. The couple is begging for answers from the clinic and Dr. Milton McNichol, who they say implanted the embryo.
So that we can find and secure the remaining embryo or embryos, and so that we can notify the genetic parents of Shay of her existence.
During a virtual emergency hearing on Wednesday, the couple's attorney laid out 7 requests, including getting the clinic to pay for genetic testing of any child born under the clinic's care in the past 5 years.
We're trying to both identify who got the patient's embryos, as well as we're trying to identify what set of parents did Shay's embryo come from.
Attorneys for the doctor and this clinic agreed to those list of terms. The couple is expected to file another motion soon. Covering Seminole County in Longwood, Christina Watkins, WESH 2 News.
But that child, is that not like a black or Asian baby?
I don't know what's happened here. I genuinely don't know what's happened here. And I think, you know, it's a bit of a segue because we are on a roll with the conversation, but I just had to get that out there because we might not deal with it next week. But it just blew my mind. And it's interesting that the couple are bonding with the baby, but they also want the baby to go back. And it's something like, my sensitivity is sensitive because the baby is such a cute little egg, and obviously it's a black or Asian baby. And the fact that your parents might be bonding with you, but they also have a detachment because in the hope of finding their actual baby. But you know, what does that mean when you're given a child? You give birth to a child that's not yours genetically, and you're not prepared for another race child. And then on top of that, there's a chance that your baby was implanted to somebody else. So all of that, it's a weird one.
But I would, if I had used the clinic as well, and my embryo had been implanted in somebody else, and they had actually to full term produce my child, I want my child back. So I understand them being like, we have to go through the clinic has to both parties have to now be in conversation with each other, however that looks. I don't know how you split it up, if you then become like kind of weekend parents. I don't know. But I would want my genetic child back.
Yeah.
And also, I would want to go through another IVF cycle if I was the parents that had this child full term as well. Yeah. This is the craziest situation. But also, yeah, I guess, depending on the clinics you go to, this is a problem.
This is a problem. This is a problem. And like we've said it, from donors to all the stuff with the regulation when it comes to that, and you're entrusting your life into these people's hands. This is so important to this couple that wanted a baby. But now there's so many layers of, and obviously, you know, giving them a little bit of grace as a white couple, don't want to be accused of being racist, don't want all those type of things, because that's what will happen, because already I'm sensitive. Why do you want to give the baby back? But of course you want your baby. You want the baby that you asked for.
You've gone through a price, flipping expensive doing IVF as well. You want that your genetic materials are placed back inside of you. That is what you want. You don't want to go 9 months of anguish, of all of the trauma that happens when you're bringing a human into this place, for then you give birth to a child that actually isn't genetically yours. Like, fair. Either way, black couple, like whoever was going to have that baby, on the other way, I would still be like, how the hell has this happened to me?
Yeah.
Like, the mother could have died. You die in childbirth. The mother may not be here, and it wasn't even for the child that you thought that you were making.
Exactly.
No, come on now. It's a bit mad.
All right, so we got who's town hall time. We must have like a bell. It's like time for hey. It's time for the town hall.
We have a queer here, but I don't.
Hi, sister.
Again. Let's see if she's
join the link. Share your points. Have you got the timer?
Yes.
Hello, sister.
No. See, it didn't connect. That's what I was thinking. It wasn't right. So let's see if she comes back again. Sorry, I will drop the link back in. I know folks are chatting and it's moving fast.
Roland's trying to get into the town hall. We'll have to keep dropping the link.
There, the link is there for you. All you have to do is just put it in a browser, and it should bring you to us.
Join the link. Come and join the chat. Stop commenting and join the chat. How about that? We can talk to you.
You don't have to visually be on either. You can do it through audio. So you don't have to have your camera on if you're not dressed, chilling on a Sunday.
This will sift out the bots from the realities from the humans. Yeah, let's get the real people on. How about that? Okay, Power, you did a podcast yesterday, and you're commenting.
Yeah, come on, audio. Then you know how to talk, innit? You know how to talk.
Your face if you don't want to know who you are with your comments. Join the chat. Join your chat. So yeah. All right, then bye. It's not a problem. It's okay. You don't have to join it. If you don't want to, don't. We just try out.
I actually love it. Like, you're in the comments right away. I know when it comes to coming up, it's a very different story. I feel it.
Okay, you're lying with your okay, sister. It's here. Are you lying with your Wi-Fi, you power player?
Oh, there we go. All right, let's bring my sister onto stage. There we go. Hey.
Hello. I didn't even know this was possible.
It's a minute to share your thoughts, sis.
So good to see you guys. I think the line keeps breaking a little bit, but I can see you waving, okay?
Yes, we said, what's your point that you want to say? You've got a minute.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know what is going on. It does seem like we're on some bizarre 1933 timeline. I am so pleased, Nana, that you're telling everyone to get out. Get out. Ghana is safe. Ghana is thriving. All of you are welcome. We've even made it easier to get Ghanaian citizenship at the moment for foreigners. So just come to Ghana. Leave what's going on in the West. Just leave them to it. I'm done.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sister. We'll talk later. Now I can really see, like, us side by side. I can really see how we really look like as well.
Well, absolutely, you're twins. You are.
God knows.
All right, let's
Okay.
get a little bit of response to the sister's comments.
Okay, Uncle Ro.
Okay, Uncle Ro.
Oh, have you got some? I didn't see. There's some comments in there.
No. I was just saying. Actually, no. People are more talking about someone saying we all can't run to a safe space. Power play. Oh, Mr. Power play. We all can't run to a safe space when times get hard. And do you know what? The only thing I would say is that sisters was more generous than I don't want everybody to go to Ghana. Thank you. Please, let's have a vetting system because not everybody is welcome. In my opinion, I'm not in Ghana. I've just come from my home country. I'm not there. However, I would like a vetting system. I don't want everybody, especially in this chat, to go to Ghana. There's certain absolutely no, thank you. All the FBA, they're not going to go anyway. So thank you. That's one kind of sifting. If you're an FBA, that's a true FBA that hates Africans and dislikes everything we stand for, then definitely you're not welcome. So just letting you know. Anyway,
Power players said this is why men fight wars. It is a coward's way to run.
All good.
Fight for America. Do it. Do
your
it.
thing.
Again, you have the president you deserve. For everybody else that is just there by proxy because that's where you were born, remember the world is your oyster. You are not landlocked anywhere. That is a fallacy. There is no borders. This isn't why God created this space for us to be. You can go wherever you want to go, and you should go there and be safe and thrive and prosper. Don't be landlocked by borders and being patriot. They don't care about you. They have houses everywhere. Your rulers have houses everywhere. They go wherever they want. Don't think that you have to be. You're locked into your state, your city, your postcode, your town. Like, please, let's not be foolish. Let's actually wisen up.
Postcode wars are dumb. Oi, listen.
Fight for what? Imagine.
All of you in the chat, drop the link again, Nana, because Bert's insisting that we talk about grooming gangs. Come and share your points so we can respond. Okay? Come and share your points. Let's get Uncle Ro up. Should I don't mean to be rude, but should I kick Afia from the back? Is it
I don't know. I was trying to figure out how to do it.
Sorry. There we
go. Yes. Hello, Uncle Ro.
Hello, aunties. How are you doing today on this lovely Sunday?
We're good, thank you. How are you?
I am I am doing the best that I can with what I got.
Thoughts and prayers are with you.
I just
your minute. Point for 1 minute.
I just wanted to say that all of this like internal cultural division is a colonized mindset that was planted in so that you can't fight together if you're fighting each other.
Yeah,
it's just like in the cartoon Ants, not Ants, a Bug's Life.
Yeah.
Once the grasshoppers had the ants in division, there's safety in numbers, and if they could divide and continue to divide and plant seeds so that they don't even have to do the work anymore. Now, internal people are creating groups of division, then they've won already. So it defeats the purpose of trying to say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to build this, and this is, and no disrespect to any of the organizations that are doing whatever they're doing on the ground, but FBA and NBA and all those other stuff that are saying, we don't like Africans and we don't, that's ridiculous. It sounds stupid. It's ignorant because you're going around and you're fighting the people that looks like you for the people who are colonizing you.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Ro.
Thank you. And that's basically it. That's great. Thank you so much, Uncle Ro. Come up again next week.
Yep, sure. Go J238. Come and join us. Power Players Magazine, come and join us.
Will do. I'll make sure that when I come, I'll bring some mangoes for you.
Ro. Okay, now I know. Hey. Howdy. Okay, cool.
All right.
I'm gonna kick you from the studio now.
Lovely. Okay.
Guys, you're commenting in the thing. Come. You can't divide. Yes. Okay. Come and share your points. Go. Join the link. Come and join the link. There's no point in making these comments if you're not going to come and join. Share your point because you're saying it with barely any words. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just do audio like Rob did. And Ro did, sorry.
Come and share why you are saying that you can't divide that which was never united.
And it's not a kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya, as in everyone's got to be friends, everyone's got to be united, but you actually cannot. Do you know when I was in Ghana? Thank you. Come on then, let's go. Come go, Jay. Gosh. When I was in Ghana, there's a whole W.E.D. Du Bois museum because he spent his final years in Ghana. There's an actual W.E. Du Bois museum in Ghana. And I had the pic. I haven't, next week, I'll get the line of pictures up and the video. There's a museum in Ghana. W.E.D. Du Bois. He was working with Kwame Nkrumah on how to activate civil rights, like to empower blacks around the world and unite Africans and Americans. W.E.D. Du Bois, isn't that one of you lot's revered civil rights leaders, activists? No.
I mean, I think like with the creating of Pan-Africanism and actually really realizing that there needed to be a solidarity with the diaspora because there were so many overlinks because we're all being oppressed by the same types of forces made sense. That Pan-Africanism now is like, some parts it's thriving, but in some areas it's really weak, and people then come up with various rhetorics of Africans don't like us and Black Americans don't like us and Black British people are taking all of our jobs. It's like all of this really serves to be confused, to not realize our strength and what we should be doing to self-govern and not be looking for any types of handouts from anybody else. They've done a job on us and it really works. And the more people that wake up to what the job is, and that was happening. So that's why I feel like the FBA kind of movement it's a plant. It is a CIA ops. It is definitely being thrown amongst us to divide us when they could see shit, they are getting their shit together. And whenever Black folks, Africans, however you want to call us, start getting together and seeing that we have strength, they will separate us. They do it time and time again.
Yeah. Goj is here. Let's go.
Okay.
How do we get you talking? You're on mute, Goj. Oh, there we go.
There we
Your
go.
time. You got a minute. Let's go.
Is he here? Is he here?
Hello.
It's still muted. Hang on.
Mic check. We here?
There we go. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we got a minute. Yeah. FBA is not a plant. It's just us trying to reconcile with one another. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta clean up your own house before you try to hug on everybody and have all these good hallmark moments, right? So at one point in time, we were forced to love each other because that's all we had, and we thrived, and we actually did good. We got shit done. You understand? So it's not about hating Africans. It's not about all these false messages you guys are putting out. It's about getting back to what we have always known, and that's only us, right? We've never asked Africa for help per se, like y'all trying to spend.
That's not
we
true.
Just got to get back to loving ourselves, and outside people, with these Mary Poppin accents, they can't shame us for wanting to be us. You understand that? So I listen. Now, I don't hate y'all. I subscribe. But at the same time, y'all got to understand, we have to fix ourselves before we start playing hold hands with the Africans and Caribbeans. You understand? That's all I got to say. You guys have a blessed day, and we are out of here. I hope I was in that minute time frame.
You was. Well done.
Okay, well done. You ladies close the show up, and I'm out of here.
Thank you very much. Hold on 1 second. What I have to do before we get power players up, I should have got your name, but thank you for contributing. It's great to hear your voice.
Actually DOJ, but Gold, however you guys want to say
DOJ. I wanted to just do something because you guys like to say this a lot. I'm just going to share something that I want to compare whether I sound like this or we sound like who.
I know exactly what you're going to do. It's funny. It always makes me laugh though. Go and see if you can get it. But I will actually say, when you say that the Africans, we haven't ever asked the Africans for anything, I would really like you to go back through history books, just go from the 40s to the 70s and see how much work was done with various African leaders and the civil rights movement in terms of money, resources, exchange of intellectual ideas, in how independence, how the African nations got their independence and what they could do to help the civil rights leaders. There was a real moment of we can work together and pool our resources, learn together, study together so that we will all be free. That was a moment in time that actually happened. There was one second. Also,
you had a few outliers, you had a few
riders. No, let me just finish my point. Let me just finish my point. To more recent times, actually, and may have been what led to his death and killing was Gaddafi not only wanting to do the unification of Africa and repelling of the dollar, but also giving Minister Farrah money to actually help his plight and for the Black Americans as well. There has been lots of exchange through history where people on the continent have helped in the Caribbean, and the Caribbean has helped in the continent. Black Americans have helped in the continent has helped Black Americans. Within the diaspora, there has been more moments of unification than there has been separation. But if you feel that you are alone, you will be alone. That is perception reality. Doesn't necessarily mean it is reality, though. That's my point to what you were saying.
Let's get power players up. Thank you, GOJ. We're going to get you from the studio because we're going to try and let everybody have their minute. Thank you. Go on, power players. Oh, you can bring him up. Here we go.
Yay.
All right. So I don't know if you guys can hear me or not, but
we can hear you.
Okay, so this is the thing. Just because we want to empower ourselves in this America, and we have been fighting for hundreds of years and not afraid, we don't want people to think that we got to run every time something goes on. That's why they know that 45 plus million of us and their fake so-called white numbers, by adding Latinos, adding other races to their numbers, they know that we know. When we talk about being educated, education just doesn't come from books. Education comes from being on the soil. Education comes from a miniest place. The problem we have a lot of times with Africans, when they come here, different groups, is you guys think that school education is the only education, or that so-called European education, it makes you more elite or makes you smarter than us. It doesn't matter where you get educated from, whether you get educated from your tribe, whether you get educated from your block in the city, whether you get educated from school, colleges, PhDs. I'm a computer science two degree. That doesn't make me better than any of my people. I will never talk down to anyone who is a melanated person because I'm educated, whether I have a passport or not. And that's something that we see that y'all do a lot. Get a passport, travel, so on and so forth. That doesn't make you better than your brother or sister. If you wanted a true alliance, you need to stop doing that to other melanated people in groups. Just because we differ from you in opinion, ideas, based on where we are, continent to continent, city, state, whatever, it doesn't mean there's always a right and a wrong. In this modern day time, we have to go for ourselves. We cannot run from problems and issues. We have to be military minded. And these people know over here, they know that if we enter the discussion, we enter the protest, they know how it will end. They know how it ends. And so you watch George Floyd, who I knew George Floyd, he's from the same city I'm from. They know what will happen in America. And that's how Africans and African nations have to become, that you will tear everything down before you allow yourselves to be continuously subjugated militarily. See, it's hard for me to talk to women, and it's no disrespect.
Oh, of course.
No disrespect.
I knew we were going there.
I served as a soldier.
1 second. Pause a second.
Military. I served as a soldier.
Pause a second. I'm gonna let you on because I kind of want to have some discourse with you because you're saying some stuff. Let me come back on the few things you're saying. And if you watch our show, we definitely say any immigrant from Africa, Caribbean, or another black country, whatever, who comes to America and undermines or devalues or underestimates what black Americans have been through, They're not good. That's got to stop. That has to go. But to generalize and say all Africans in America and every group of Africans in America don't understand the plight, feel like education makes them better than anyone. That's not true. That's fundamentally not true. We none of us have the stats and the numbers. You might have encountered a few people. You might be encountered some propaganda that happens. Maybe one or two people have said something, and then you say all Africans do that. That is not true. And you cannot undermine the fight that Africans go through daily. We have people on the continent. Oh, he's gone?
I didn't take him out. I think he just left himself. I don't know.
Okay, fine. I mean, like saying that people are being allowed or allowing governments to destabilize their countries. Do you know what Africans are doing on a daily? Do you know about Traore? Do you know about what's going on in Senegal? Do you know about all the African leaders that are pushing back? Do you know what has happened? How many millions of Africans die on a daily because of destabilization? It's not just as simple as like, hey, Mr. White man, come out of our country. There are government systems in place. Do you know about the IMF, all the sanctions put on trade? Do you understand how the Western governments destabilize countries intentionally? You've seen what happened. Are you saying that to the Palestinians, that they're allowing themselves to be colonized? Are you saying that to people in Iran? Are you saying that to other people in other countries? No one is allowing themselves. If any of us said that you guys allowed yourselves to be beat in the 60s, you allowed segregation to happen to you. That's the same thing you're saying to Africans and people in other countries that are being recolonized or kept destabilized by Western powers. Do not say allowed. That's disrespectful. Absolutely disrespectful.
It actually fails in, and this is the part of the ignorance where I'm talking about education to freedom movements that have enforced freedoms for lots of different people in lots of different countries. Don't just think that it is just the American civil rights movements. Like, people have been fighting for freedom for millennia. And then to talk about women, where please just go on mere Netflix.
Your own historical leaders.
Go on mere Netflix and watch all of the various different women that were leading countries and nations and tribes and fighting against colonization. That is a thing. Like, to be like, oh, women ain't gonna understand about war is just foolish. And these are the things that they get us on, because when you start dividing on gender and it's false, you are missing reality for how powerful we are. To not understand that just because you're a man doesn't mean that you are going to be the best at war. But people that get it, they won wars. When they knew that you actually need two parts. You need a male and a female. You need to be having your masculine and feminine in balance to actually win against what they are putting forward as a reality. That's how you win.
Yeah.
It isn't that, oh, just men go and fight for war. No, it's we all get on code and fight.
Because when men were killed at war, what happened? Women stepped up and took over, didn't they? That's why women entered the workforce in a majority. When we weren't allowed to in the workforce because women are supposed to be at home and look after babies. When all the men were killed off, or majority of men were killed off in wars, women had to step, and we managed to do it, didn't we? There were women soldiers. The women are allowed in the military, aren't they? There are women leaders, aren't they? You have civil rights leaders that are advocated and heralded. Women leaders, aren't they? There are African, like Women King, very fictionalized, but based on truth. There are many African warrior women. There are, and American and Caribbean, that led the resistance alongside or ahead of men. It's okay. You can't get bound by the gender madness. You cannot. You can't.
It's even one thing, because I understand the rhetoric that can be purported, and maybe you have suffered at the hands of an ignorant African talking down on you or whatever. That is there, but that is also a part of the indoctrination. And also, we have to remember that the people that are able to travel and get asylum they're different classes as well. There's different sets of folks that are able to make it into the West from Africa. And that isn't necessarily that they are the standard of African people. It's very different. So you can't judge a continent on who you have come in contact with. And you should know that, for just like, if you hang around Mayfair and you see the Arab people that are there are not necessarily the Arab people that you will go into experience when you go to Iran or Jordan, because they have money and affluence, so they were able to travel. So it's not actually indicative of everybody in that community. And these are the things where it's like, actually, it's more nuanced. And when you start movements out of we are rejecting this because of this rhetoric, understand that that has been put in place to divide and conquer. It is a method that they are using. And you carrying it on isn't being self-serving. You are actually doing the bidding of the colonizer. And that's the thing of, to fight for America and be like, we are fighting for this land. Think about what you're saying you're doing. Like, actually really like deep what you are fighting for, what you would be upholding, and why you would be doing that.
GOJ, we live what you may. Poppins podcasters. Okay. You Poppins watch us through binoculars, buy Vibe magazines. Yeah, I did. I bought loads. I bought the Source magazine too, by the way. Source magazine. I bought Vibe magazine. Also bought Touch, and I also bought Hip Hop Connection. I also bought Vogue. Also bought, all the stuff. But yeah, definitely, I'm influenced by Vibe and the Source. Definitely, I say that all the time. It inspired me to launch my British platform. Absolutely. So you guys live there. How old are you? Did you live through segregation? Because we had segregation in the UK. What the only difference is ours wasn't legalized the way it was in America, but we had segregation in the UK. We had racism in the UK. We had riots and protests in the UK. Same thing. That absolutely what you lot went through in America is exactly what we went through in the UK. The only thing is, as we've said time and time again, America has had the best marketing and promotion and PR of any country in the whole wide world. The American government, the American propaganda has been so far reaching that every country in Europe, in Africa, in Caribbean, in Asia, American culture has been exported globally. So that's why we don't disrespect Black American culture, because we know the power of it. American culture is everywhere. Your country promoted it to the death, where it made it the beacon of every country. You don't say you're the biggest, baddest country in the whole wide world. So yes, it has infiltrated into other countries. Again, do your research and have your information. We're not watching through a lens, because what happens, as we said, we literally just took you through what's happening in America. Our government is literally doing the same thing. Because remember, UK colonized America, by the way. Then you guys disassociated, right? So
that was like what they didn't even. You fought against the might of Britain at that moment to have independence. So understand that a lot of what is put in place is British.
It's from the UK.
And remember, at one point in time, over 60% of this landmass was under some type of British rule. So these are the things. It's like, even to say about, because was he alluding to Africans are docile?
Yeah, that's what they keep saying. They keep saying Africans don't do anything. And I think what you guys are doing in a microcosm is in the immediacy. So if you've got riddle me this. You have an FBA headquarters. So I go, hi, knock, hi, I'm African. Well, you're not going to welcome me in because you're FBA, so I can't join you, right? So then what resistance? Are you lot saying that when you protest, when it was George Floyd, when you're protesting Trayvon, when you're Sandra Bland, all those people that you were protesting, are you trying to tell me in all the protests, not one of those people were African heritage or Caribbean heritage? Was every single protest only an FBA? Is that what you're saying? Have you discerned that? Are you determining that? Is that what's being saying? So in every movement, in every pushback, are you saying that generally there were no Africans? And obviously if they're immigrants, they're going to be in the minority. So they're not going to be the majority. So they're not, when you're doing protesting, you're not going to have 99% of immigrants, because of course they're going to be looking at education and finding the way to keep themselves under the radar, because they're not of this country and they know that they will be the first to be turfed out. So yes, you're going to have immigrants that come and want to conform because they're scared of being turfed out. And let's not talk about the fact that differences. We had it in the UK. When Africans came to the UK, there was pushback from some Caribbean because they're like, who the fuck are you? And what language are you talking? We had to assimilate, had to find a way to assimilate, or find a way to navigate. And so sometimes groups isolate themselves because the people already there don't like them and don't want them to come in. Don't act like there weren't disrespect towards African and Caribbean immigrants in America. We had it here. We have it here. Still have it, but it's not in the majority. So let's not say that you guys have all been all welcoming and you opened the doors, you opened your arms, and the Africans just say, yeah, you fucking Carters and all this. It's not true. We know, you know it's not true. You might have had some individual run-ins, but day to day, it's not that. Have you tried to open arms? Have you tried to figure it out? Have you? No, because
there was moments in time when
there was unity. That was happening.
Just through the Black conscious movement, and there was a solidarity and learning about and learning about religion and spirituality, and people even just being in dashikis, kente. There was a moment of actually a unification. And do you not think, even if you just look at Tashid, whatever his name is, journey, in how what he started doing, what his media company was putting out in terms of Black consciousness, to then fractioning off like that, pivot to now FBA. That to me is such an organized crime against Black folk. I cannot, and when even seemingly normal, at least I know you're not a bot, humans spill out this rhetoric. It is literally like dealing with a white working class person talking about immigrants are taking all of our jobs, and not looking up to who has your foot on your neck, who actually is keeping you oppressed. It pisses me off, really. It's like please use your brain.
You know what? Keep watching, commenting. It helps out. Keep like, commenting, and subscribing. Fine. Maybe the more we keep talking, the more we keep arguing, maybe we'll find some common ground. I just wanted to make it clear. This, guys, is Mary Poppins. So if you're calling us this, I mean, okay, this is how Mary Poppins sounds, guys.
In every job that must be done, there is an element of fun. You find the fun.
It's really low.
It is, isn't it?
The job's a game.
So I mean, okay, let's see. What is it? It is Mary Poppins. That's Mary.
But sometimes when they say that, though, I'm like, is that supposed to be a diss? Like, are we supposed to be affronted? But oh no! Like, okay,
maybe.
Cool.
Let's have a look.
I don't know. It's like I wouldn't say like. I wouldn't, when Americans talking, I'm not going to be like, oh, you Yankee ass people. Like, it's not going to be a thing. We all have accents. Like, you have an accent to us. We're going to have an accent to you. I don't need to espout insults. If saying Mary Poppins is an insult, I don't know.
But you know, because it's not an insult to say we sound like Mary Poppins, but it's an insult to your ignorance, because it's an insult to your common sense, or it's an insult to yourself, because you should know that this is a white establishment icon, Mary Poppins. And the fact that she reaches over to you, I'm assuming you're quite young, you know who Mary Poppins is. That is how the power of propaganda, that's the power of marketing, that you know who Mary Poppins is. It's the same thing why I know who Redman and Method Man is, and why I know who Stanford and Sons is. That's the reason why I know that, because of propaganda and cross marketing. Mary Poppins sounds like this. That's how they sound.
It's not playing.
This is your room, no carpet. That is how she sounds. That is how we don't sound like that. We are speaking colloquial Black. We speak with a Black inflection, the same way you guys have your Ebonic type style or slanguistics, or a way of speaking that is, you can generally tell who's Black and who's white from America. You've got the Valley sound, if you're from California, whatever, you've got the kind of sound of the Valley, all that type of stuff that distinguishes. When I watch American comedians, you can tell when they put on the white voice and say to depict how white people speak, and you've got how we speak. We all have a kind of Black isms. In the UK, it's a blend of African and Caribbean isms. It started off leaning more towards kind of Caribbean isms inflected into our speech, and now it's kind of become a homogenous kind of African, West African, Caribbean, British, Cockney, all of it. I get a little bit, because I went to school. I went to school in women, so I spoke a little bit more like Mary Poppins because of my environment, lots of white people around. But we are not. This doesn't represent us. You're not saying T and
no British person even talks like Mary Poppins, though.
Well, there are some white people.
Not anymore, because it's a moment in time, and every decade how we talk changes. So it's like it's just a moot point. It's really stupid. But either way, yes, there are Black Brits here. Yes, we call ourselves Black. Yes, there was a moment in time where we were dashing Black for a minute, and people were putting African in front of certain words, similarly to what was going on in America, when at a moment in time it was like, no, we are now going to be called African Americans, and then you reject it, and then it's gone back to Black Americans. We all have this ebb and flow, and what I would really like us to think is, who is controlling this? Who is putting these moments in? We don't know what our terms are, where we're perpetually confused and fighting against each other, that I am more Black, I am more African than you are. When it comes down to purely our DNA, it always comes back to the same places. There is always the similar root that is there. Why are we arguing with each other? Let's be for real.
Okay, enough of that. So, guys, that has been this week's news and nonsense. It's good. I like the town hall. Do you guys like the town hall? Put your comments in the. You like the town hall? Thank you to all our town hallers, because no matter what, dialogue is important. Is key.
It is. It is. It's really important to chat about it. It's a shame that I can't remember what his name was now, but the dude that did have. Oh, there we go. Power players. It's a shame that you didn't stay on for a little bit longer, but because there is a power in being able to talk about it. As somebody who definitely, I am a Pan-Africanist, have studied a lot more history into how our alliances was. When I hear things of nobody has helped us, it's fictitious. It's not true. When you have like you guys, it's about running away, or it's like that also is not true. There are boots on the ground. There are millions of people that have died for humanity's freedoms. There are people that fought all in different countries for apartheid to end in South Africa. Whether they were Black American, they were white, they were Irish people, they were Palestinians. We have been fighting for freedoms across the globe. And to think that you are solo in anything beggars belief, because there were people here that were deplatformed, lost their jobs because they were fighting for your freedoms when everybody was protesting George Floyd. That's happened. There are Black Brits who were demoted, lost jobs because they were outspoken at the atrocities that were taking place in America. And that has happened throughout decades. So it's like, to be like, oh, it's just us, that's a lie. It's not real. And maybe you need to open your eyes up a little bit more and get involved with independent movements like we have, to actually see how we can all help each other out.
Yeah, and it's not, and I think it's not to drop what you're doing. If you've got boots on the ground, if you're doing your stuff, do it. I think you do it. It's just without the anti-other rhetoric, that doesn't help. I think I get the immediate. I remember we're just repeating ourselves. And by the talking about the run, just the running thing, I don't mean everyone should leave. It's up to you. We're not saying you should leave. If you want to stay and fight, stay and fight. But there's an opening to actually the world is bigger than what you're fighting for people that don't like you and are trying to oppress you. Do you get what I'm saying? That's all that is. It's like, if you want to stay and fight, stay and fight. Definitely defend your land by any means necessary. But there's also other options around the world. We are going to end on a bit of a palate cleanser, Yvonne. Sorry about this, guys. Well, no, not sorry. It is what it is. It's the news. This is the world today. But here's a little bit of, it's not nonsense. There's some sweetness. There's a little boy who goes around on public transport in the UK and just has a little fun old time with his little traveling notes. He wants to travel every bus in London and document his journey. So it's important that you listen to him.
Oh, bless him.
Are you ready? It's okay.
It's here.
Then?
It says the bus terminates here. And this says bus terminates. There's nobody on.
No, you're the only ones.
It says Tottenham Court Road Station.
Okay.
Road to Russell Street.
Okay, you will plan every journey from home to the first stop where the bus journey begins. You took us all the way to Tottenham. Oh.
You're welcome.
You're the first passenger.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's my thing.
Harry Potter.
Oh.
So he's documenting all of the attractions as he goes away, as he goes along.
Yeah.
Oh, look at his little.
His writing's better than mine.
How old is he? 6?
He's 4. Oh, 4. How old is 4?
London Eye.
Hmm?
London Eye.
Nah.
Waterloo Bridge.
Oh, it's fine.
Mom, we're in Elephant Castle.
Oh, they went all the way south. What bus is he on? No.
Waterloo Station. Mom, this would done it. You stand at the station. think the next one's Overhill.
You think the next one's
Overhill.
Okay.
Little genius. Just want to cleanse your
What
palate.
a
Little genius.
beauty.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that. We do have a super chat. We actually forgot our Sunday service.
Oh my God, you guys have been chatting and taking advantage of our good nature. Thank you, Kevin, aka Mr. K. Is this Kevin?
Yes,
Kevin.
No, this is Kevin that always gives us money, Kevin.
Oh, hey,
Kevin, our hugest donator. Kevin, we love you. Thank you so much.
Okay, Kevin says FBAs have an insular self-aggrandizement attitude that makes them think they are the beacon of the Black experience and vanguard of Black empowerment. I mean, for those who can't argue with that,
I see a version of that in some ways that people speak about the Black experience from that persuasion. I do hear we have gone through the most. And even when we had that girl one, I can't remember, her name escapes me now.
Oh, yes.
Devana, I can't remember what her name is. But how it was kind of like, we have gone through so much. We have been oppressed so much. And each time I said, the same oppressors were on the mainland. Like, they were doing the same shit. More bodies were actually killed over there than did die in America. And also in South America, more Black bodies have been disposed of there, killed, state sanctioned, than in North America. It's like Black oppression has happened everywhere. Nobody has a monopoly on this shit. We are all being oppressed. It's just one story was pushed out more. And that's the thing where we can then go into a bit, and maybe it's overdrive on your side of people keep on saying, you guys are ignorant, you need to educate yourself. But the thing is, we got a lot of your story and you haven't heard the other side of it. And that's another point of a disconnect when there is some type of rhetoric out there that Africans are in the position on the mainland that they're in because they're weak. That is a colonial mentality. That is like Black people, all they need to do is pull their bootstrap up. And when you start to think that is real, and you don't see the commonality in the same way that you can be oppressed and also go into a cycle of poverty and only a few people get out of it, do you not think that they're doing even worse over there?
Yeah. Exactly.
Where you don't have the propaganda machine.
Let's end on a high note. So yes, guys are saying, lovely, lovely, lovely little boy. Love to see this. Bless his heart. So Destiny Love. Tasha Lovely. I love that he's documenting this by hand instead of on an iPad.
Know.
Yes, his handwriting my handwriting is like that. My handwriting is like, because I'm always typing, it's so sad that my handwriting is, my handwriting was wild in itself. But now it's like my hand even gets tired when I just try and hold a pen.
Same. Or do a page of writing. It's like my hand gets really tired because that muscle is gone.
Yvonne says he got invited to go on the first journey of the new SL3 bus with Bus Auntie and Sadiq Khan.
Oh,
that's so cute.
What's his page? Roland wants to follow his journey. He is the cutest little kid.
What's his Instagram page, Yvonne, if you know? This is okay. I don't want to go back into discussion because we won't leave. But yes, it's very cute, very sweet. Big ups to mum and dad for raising such an articulate, intelligent young man, says me, myself, and I. Absolutely. So yeah, that's very cute.
I love that. He is a sweetie. We actually have a little nephew who really likes trains.
Oh.
I'll actually have to send a message to him. I'll send one of those videos off to Michelle. Yeah, he loves trains and goes through it. I too like the London Underground. Like, I feel like I know every line attached to a stop. I think I have that in my memory.
I think I do, but okay.
One day we'll have to do London transport quiz, because I swear I do know it. Maybe we need to do a members live as well. I know members. Sorry, we will do our members live and catch up.
We're back now.
Guys, you guys need to give us donations as well. It's Sunday service. What's happened?
You've been away. You lot have had your pocket money's been safe. I know Christmas is done now. New year, new me.
It's payday weekend, no?
I was just about to say something. Farrah, we didn't mention Auntie Farrah. Sorry, she couldn't be with us today, but she'll be with us next week. But yeah, so Auntie Farrah is well, good, happy. If you catch our latest episode on Monday, it's dropping on Monday for our Your Mainly Aunties Could Never Show. That's dropping on Monday. Tomorrow. That's tomorrow.
That is Monday is tomorrow. Yes. Audio in the morning for your commute, and then 12 o'clock. Come to the channel and we can chat in the premiere while we watch it as well.
And guys, thank you. Let us know, how do you like the town hall? Do you like the idea of the town hall? I absolutely, whether we agree or disagree, I really appreciate your contributions. Gosh, we appreciate your contributions because, like I said, dialogue is important. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, we want it to be a feature every week. So please do think about, while we're doing the show, what your points could be, what you could come up and say. You don't have to come on camera. It can just be through audio. And that would, it spurs on more conversation. So let's chat more.
Yeah, let's chat more. And tell a friend to tell a friend. Don't forget to share this. Every Sunday we'll be here. Even if Bert says thank you for the live. Enjoy. Bert, next time you better come and comment because you had lots to say. So you better join the town hall next week. You had so much to say, Mr. Bert or Ms. Bert. All right, guys.
Liz Bert.
Ms. Bert, Liz Bert. I got to go to the phone shop and fix my phone because it's been a whole nightmare.
It's still not working properly.
I got the screen fixed. The camera's blurry. So I think that along with the screen being broken, the camera has been shaken to its core. So I've got to go and get it fixed.
Bloody
money.
Okay. For anybody that is in the chat as well, and you watch me on For Heaven's Sake doing Love Island, I will have up today's first look report in about an hour, and also I'll be back again live tonight, 10:30, where we go through today's latest Love Island episode as well.
Me and Nana do the reality lord's work.
Yes, we do. We will be doing Love is Blind. That's coming out next week, so we'll be going through Love is Blind as well.
So is that the UK one?
It's American one. You used to watch American one, yeah.
I couldn't do the other one because the other one was not too much. Didn't have enough flavor in it. So
this one, I think it's going to be good. So I was really like, oh, pants. It's in Ohio. Ooh. It's in Ohio. It's season 10, and how many did I count? I think I counted. There's 9 black people in the cast of 30, which is, it's more than usual. So I was like, okay, hopefully.
Okay, so I might watch it, and then sometimes can I come and talk with you?
Of course. If you are watching the reality show that we are covering, of course you can come on and chat with us.
Okay. I'm gonna try and watch it. Thank you, Stephen O'Chog 1707. Merry New Year!
Thank you, guys. Thank you. It means a lot. We haven't been putting anything out for a whole month. We had a whole month off, so you can imagine our coffers are really low. So we need you guys to help us stay in a studio, basically. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Alicia Teller, watch it back. The Jay and Eps, I mean, we didn't say too long on Jay and Pusha, but it is what it is.
I feel like they should come out and we should get a statement. No, like if your name came up in a list, you're going to be like, that's categorically false. Like it should at least be denied.
No, but sometimes that opens a can of worms. So I think sometimes I understand why people don't speak. I understand in this current time, sometimes silence is key, especially if but it's all murky. Let's not get into it. We're going to start talking. We got to go. Happy Sunday, my people. Entourage.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt and Yang. Thank you, Asha Brown. Take care. Have a blessed Sunday.
See you next week.